Okay, it is time for Street Talk for the 65th anniversary episodes week of Coronation Street. We're going to dive straight into Street Talk this week. We've not been sent any clickbait this week, Gemma. Maybe the journalists have had a week off. Oh, no, they haven't. They haven't, have they, Gemma?
Maybe they just...
Maybe, what?
Maybe everything was just written completely plainly. Like, Coronation Street fans moan about this.
Is this why you're not a clickbait journalist?
I could be a really good clickbait journalist, thanks very much.
I think that maybe Conversation Street made it into the tabloids this week, but I'm not going to say anything about that. We're going to go straight into it. But I will say, based on last week's Street Talk, based on last week's clickbait, yes, we have been told that Alice Dingle is dead.
Oh, God
By many people in the past 7 days.
It must have been so funny listening to us going, like, I wonder what we could have...
You know, we usually pride ourselves on our research skills, but not with that.
Listening to an Emmerdale one where they're going, well, Mike Baldwin was very popular and he was Ken's rival. Maybe he'll be brought back.
I know. Well, you know, not everybody listening to this is as au fait with Emmerdale as clearly some of our listeners are. And yeah, Alice Dingle, the reason that she last appeared in, when was it, 2001, 2006 or something like that, was because she was killed off. I think it was assisted suicide story.
I should have scrolled down, really, shouldn't I?
You should. You were doing lots of great live research about her as we recorded last week, but you didn't find out what happened at the end. But you know, I will take full credit on this. I should have maybe looked that up. But it was a good theory, though, wasn't it? Eh, Roy, corresponding with
Roy doesn't know that she's dead.
So maybe someone is posing as Alice Dingle.
Also, I don't understand why everybody's being so defeatist about this, because lots of people come back who are dead.
Yeah, I mean...
Look at Becky.
What if we just said that somebody was corresponding with Becky Swain and you did look really stupid to say, no, she's dead?
If we said last year, I wonder if for the Corriedale crossover, they'll have Becky Swain in it, everyone would have said, that's silly because she's dead.
She's definitely utterly dead.
And we would have said no.
Yeah, exactly.
Think again.
So anyway, I back to the old drawing board with that. And we didn't really get any other clues about Roy and his letters this week, did we?
I'm not so invested in the idea that I'm upset about this.
I'm a little bit upset about
that I can latch onto.
I mean, it wasn't my theory. I just copied it off someone online, so I blame them.
Yeah, it's their fault. Who's this idiot that's going around spreading rumours about dead women?
Exactly. But yeah, I think the Roy story, he only got about 2 scenes this week, and it involved him just getting more letters or something. I don't know. I didn't even write it down.
You can't listen to us about anything.
No, you can't. But you will, because we're going to be talking about this week's Street Talk stuff, which is starting with Mag's Pain. It's like Max Payne.
Oh, no.
And it's about Maggie's pain. Yeah, I couldn't think of a decent one for Maggie's flashback. Magback? No? I don't know. It's still the Will Groom storyline after all, wasn't it? With just a little bit of a departure on Monday for parties and flashbacks and pushing down the stairs. We have then got some Swalageddon coming at you, and Lisa and Carla have split up again because they just can't help it.
They never get back together before they split up. They've had so many splitting ups where they haven't got back together again.
I know.
They're just going straight to breaking up.
Is it just so that everybody absolutely 100% knows that they're definitely over for 100% good and there's no way that they're going to get back together at some point in the first half of next year?
If you haven't tuned in previously, let's just remind you that Carla and Lisa have broken up with each other.
I know, I'm kind of hitting us over the head with it, really, aren't they? Dementia is coming up next. I had a few nice scenes in, I suppose. Joan alone, because Joan is being lonely in a party, sorry.
Who?
Joni, Joni, one of the girls. A few little Webster Metcalf scenes this week. It feels like they can never really truly commit to having that story in a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like you might get 3 or 4 scenes in an episode that are fairly inconsequential, and then that'll do. We'll do that for a couple of episodes, and then we'll put them to bed for another month, and then we'll have another couple of scenes. Come on, this is Sally. This is Sally Metcalf here and Tim. Surely they should be the A story of the week at least once, and we didn't even have Brody appear this week, did we?
She's made an appearance.
Oh yeah, Brody's, that's about as far as we got with that. We had a little bit of the show Me the Mummy storyline just this week, and then There were some intriguing teasers to next week's Undertaker Under the Thumb. We didn't see Theo or Todd at all this week, did we? We just had Christina and George.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Christina kind of worried about him and trying to get George to, do something about it.
Do something.
But, yeah, we did get a nice little tease looking ahead to Monday's episode, which should be quite interesting. But, I said the same about this flashback episode on Monday, and I think both of us agreed that it was a bit of a letdown.
Oh,
Go on, say it.
It was all right.
It was all right. And I was kind of hoping it would be a bit more than all right.
I just don't want a flashback.
Does that format, are you tired of it?
They've had so many chances now to do them. And every time they do them, it's just like, I don't know who this character is. The only reason you have to do a flashback is because this character is a new character, right? Otherwise, they would have already been in it, would have seen this happen.
Well, flashbacks that we've had in the past 18 months or so, we've had the Kit one, but then there were flashbacks all surrounding Joel's death as well, weren't there? I mean, was that a better use of the medium?
Do you think that counts?
Well, it was, we died, and then a month and a half, 2 months, whenever it was later, we found out who it was that landed the fatal blow on him and then didn't wrap him up in a body bag before they dumped him into a river. I
definitely think there's a difference between that, which is, I'd say that's more of a revelation, and this is like, this, you would have no way of ever knowing this. It's like when the Joel reveal was like, oh, if you'd only been looking over here, you'd have seen this, but you weren't, were you? Whereas like, we didn't even know Maggie existed when this happened. Push who you like down the stairs. I don't know who you are. Yeah,
you're right. It was similar to the Kit one in that way.
Yeah.
That they took a new character that we'd never considered their past before, and Corey's saying, hey, guess what this person got up to when they were younger? They kind of killed somebody.
Do you know what it is? I think it's a real lack of confidence in the story. Their story, and I don't know why, because they should be confident. Is what they do best. Their characters, their actors, and their storytelling, because you should be able to tell people everything they need to know about a character in a soap by what they do and say. You shouldn't have to. The 65 years of Coronation Street, we've never needed somebody to go, oh, do you know why she's a bitch? You know what I mean? We found out everything we needed to know about all these characters, hundreds of characters, without ever having to be given a flashback. Why now? Why start now? I just don't think it works in a soap. And it's so much.
I think it can work. I think it can work because you look at the Peggy Mitchell stuff that they did in EastEnders recently, which we've not seen, but that's been highly lauded, hasn't it?
Just because other people said they liked it doesn't mean that it was and I don't know whether it was good. And why did they have to do a Peggy Mitchell?
I think
flashback. What was the point of it? Somebody tell me. I'm not saying there was no point. I'm literally asking. Oh, it's not a rhetorical question. I literally don't know why.
I think it was all tied in as far as I got a very basic understanding of it from what I recall hearing, was that it was tied into Phil Mitchell's hyper-masculinity story, and then it was about him as a teenager, and it kind of went to show how I think that they went a bit more full on with the EastEnders flashbacks, whereas with the Kit one that we got earlier this year, I think even then I was kind of watching it thinking, oh great, this is going to be a whole episode in flashback set in 2007, that could be really interesting. And then they started off with the flashback scenes of the boys running down past the pub, and then it's like, oh no, they are going to have some modern day scenes now, but it made it look like it was Flashback City compared to this week's, which, what percentage of Monday's episode was actually Maggie Driscoll flashback?
It was about
10%?
Yeah.
15%? Barely anything.
I think the thing about it also is that it's like, oh, look at this. It's something you didn't know about this character. So I don't know anything about this character. This is a new character. You're not surprising me with this because she could have done anything. If you'd have shown her walking on the moon, I would have been surprised. I don't know anything about her. You're not shocking me because I had no reason to suspect she hadn't murdered her husband. I mean, and everybody guessed that she'd done this.
I think that was the main problem. Like, I don't know where it came from.
It wasn't going to be a flashback about, one day my cake was cooked wrong, was it?
I don't know where it came from. I don't know whether it was leaked or it was heavily rumoured or something. But about 3-4 weeks or so ago, it must have been. It got out there online, and fair play to everybody who's listening that wants to stay spoiler free or that didn't see any of this because you just weren't looking in the right places. But yeah, it became fairly obvious to everybody who'd seen these rumours / leaks that it was going to be revealed that Maggie had killed somebody, but I don't think we knew who it was going to be.
Yeah, but then they released, we've got a handful of pictures. We don't want to spoil it, so we're only going to release a few pictures of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them was of her shouting at him from the top of the stairs, and you're like, wonder what happens next.
Well, yeah, one promo picture of the flashback from Monday's episode, and it happened to be young Maggie and young Alan, that's it, on the stairs, and it's like, well,
she's going to push him down the stairs
then, isn't
Why
it?
couldn't they have put a picture of them? They must have taken a picture of them, like a promo picture just of the family smiling with a cake.
I don't think they did. It just felt, I'm sorry to all the people that collectively, I'm not calling out any one individual with this, but it did feel a little bit half-assed. They had 3 dinner scenes, didn't they? Which was just the couple arguing. They
sat down for a meal and she went, let's go and do something else. Every time.
Yeah. And they didn't do any... I was kind of looking for the afterwards, here's the behind the scenes of how we filmed these whenever this nebulous year was that there was set scenes, like they did with the Kit and Will, no, what was his name, Mick, earlier this year. They had that making of, didn't they? They had people talking about, here's how we tried to make it look authentically like 2007, and their little interviews with young Kit. And there's just kind of nothing for this. And I still thought it was a nice novelty. It didn't. I wasn't watching it going, this is ridiculous. I was watching it thinking, I wish this was more.
I just think, look, I know this is petty, but the final scene with the family, they all sit down. She's got her cake. She cuts the slice of cake. She gives it to the kid. The kid gives it to the dad. She puts the cake down and said, "Let's go and have ice cream." Why did you? Did the people that made the set just do like a birthday spread and not talk to the person who's writing it? Do you know what I mean? Why have that? Why have it? Just, it's illogical. It doesn't make any, like, no human being goes, here's a bit of cake, we're going to have ice cream instead. I know that the point of her is she's supposed to be silly and like, what's the word? Contrary. But that was just like nonsensically weird.
Anyway,
it's like one of those scenes that people make fun of American television shows where they sit down to this huge spread of breakfast and they go, "I'm going to school, Mum, I'm late," and they just eat a piece of toast.
It's a brilliant accent, that one was. Oh, thank you to all the comments about my Irish accent. No, I've had 2 people online this week saying my Irish accent was terrible. Well, maybe you'll never hear that again. Because
you don't deserve him at his worst.
You don't deserve my amazing Irish accent, everybody. Next you'll be telling me that Helen Flanagan doesn't sound anything like her, honestly. Alright, so do you want me to take the lead on this one and recount? Because I think
I did watch it twice,
Well, I might call on you. You rewatch the flashbacks just to see if there were any other clues.
No, I didn't watch the flashback. I watched the Maggie's past. So everything that was Maggie's story from Monday.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
So it's about 10 minutes long. The story.
Was this the little compilation that they put up on the
and
it
was so
YouTube?
Funny. I'm pretty sure they took the music out. So there's this really cringe scene where they're like, "Oh, I love my boys. Let's all have a dance." And then
writing about Gemma's Irish accent, everyone.
Go on, just why don't you kick me when I'm down? They're all dancing, and then it cuts to the flashback, but there's no music.
Yeah,
they're just like shuffling around.
Silent disco.
Awkward. No, I mean there was music, but it wasn't the music they were dancing to.
I saw that people were trying to date when this series of flashback scenes was by some of the music that was played, and I think one of them on the jukebox. It was Better the Devil You Know, which was apparently 1990 that came in. And so I think looking at it, you'd say, that's an 80s flashback, but then the dates don't necessarily tally up. So apparently it was early 90s at some point. But
the 90s
again, weird
like
that they
the 80s.
They did for a little bit,
Yeah,
didn't they?
the
You know,
beginning.
the shell suits crossed over those decades. But it was odd that they didn't have a year on screen about when this was. It was like, it doesn't matter when it happened. It was in the past.
Yeah,
She
don't
pushed
ask
her husband
questions.
down the stairs. What do you reckon to that, eh?
Also, we don't know what happened. We were hoping for a lovely location shoot.
We were. I mean, it was...
But nothing.
It was filmed in an actual house, so it could potentially be a Getaway Award contender.
And now it's haunted.
Yeah, haunted by the ghost of Alan Driscoll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have liked them to have gone outside just so that we could find it and then go and take pictures outside.
That's literally the only reason.
Literally the only reason. But you do get a different feel when it's in a house, don't you? And I don't know whether it's
a
something
really big house.
I don't know whether it's something to do with the lighting or just the cameras can or can't get to various places, or whether it just feels that little je ne sais quoi that makes it feel a bit more authentic.
I don't know
but it's
whether...
that was like Brookside, because that was filmed in real houses, wasn't it? I wonder whether that had that feeling all the time.
I don't know whether they just needed a really big house to fit all the equipment in, but for the kind of economic situation they were in, and you know, Alan saying, why have you bought that? And she's like, I got it, you know, from a bloke down the pub. They had a really wide living room that most people, like working class people, would not have had such a huge living room.
Well, you know, houses were cheap back then, weren't they? That's all. What can you say? Not that cheap. Not that cheap, says Gemma.
Okay.
So the episode started.
Moan.
Moan. Half an hour into the podcast already, nearly, if you've listened from the beginning. Let's talk about what actually happened. And actually, there was a lot to like on Monday's episode.
Lots
there really,
of people,
really was.
Yeah, liked the tying in of the birthday with Maggie.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably touched on that on the podcast last week, because it was revealed then that Maggie would be celebrating her 65th. But I'll still say that I quite liked it.
Do you
it's
know
harmless.
It's quite funny, really, that she was like going, it's my birthday, everyone come and celebrate and have a drink on me, blah blah blah, and nobody's like, Maggie, it's actually a really sad anniversary for the people of this street, because
15 years ago, Maggie.
15 years ago 4 people died. We didn't know the other guy, we didn't know the taxi driver, but you're being super disrespectful.
Yeah, so can you just join us as we raise a glass to Charlotte Hoyle, please?
Yeah, can you imagine how awkward it would be to like move to a new community and your birthday is on like the exact date of their tragedy?
Yeah.
Like going to New York being like 9/11, it's my birthday.
Well, I'm sure that, you know, on Christmas Day every year they just stand there and mourn the loss of Robert Preston, don't they?
Yeah, don't stand on that part of the pavement on a Christmas Day.
Anyway, look, so speaking of pavement, I really like the shot at the beginning of Monday's episode where Glenda's walking down the cobbles. Literally, the first shot is the cobbles, isn't it? And then you see her feet and it pans up to her and she's singing Sunny Side of the Street, and the camera's all a bit filmic, and really, this feels like a special episode kind of moment, and she's just there going saying hello to everybody. She arrives at the pub where it's got this 60th birthday banner, 65th birthday banner, which was incredibly meta. They had a sign outside the cabin, didn't they, that said Florizel Street discounts.
I don't know why that was on there.
No, I'm not sure. It didn't really make sense. But that is almost like they just wanted to say
like, we want
daily discounts Florizel Street over written
They just wanted to mention it, but they didn't know how, and then they never thought of anything except the placeholder.
Yeah, it was a bit, but
because I think it would have been funnier if they'd made a joke about the fact that the reason it's not called Florizel Street is because the lady thought it sounded like a washer, like a cleaning fluid. So if they'd had like 50% off Florizel cleaning liquid in today's,
that would have been good.
You know, recorder, it would have made me laugh. I don't know.
Or could they have had a headline saying Florizel Street to be renamed, council decides, or I don't know. I really don't want to be too picky about this.
Well, that's
what we're here for, isn't it? Maggie's basically walking around the street inviting everybody with a pulse to her party that evening. She wants to be the centre of attention for everybody. And so Rita's gets an invite, Brian invites himself too, Ken, Tracy and Kirk, who are hurrying along the street with the Christmas tree, they all get invited. And then as the music swells, she heads over to the salon, and it's all very triumphant start to the 65th anniversary episode. Meanwhile, inside the pub, you got Eva, Ollie and Glenda all setting up. Ben needs to go out and get the flowers. And he says to Eva, look, can you take me ma out for a nice girly lunch, just so that we can, just to try and
mend some bridges.
Yeah, exactly, with her.
Make her like you.
Eva's not particularly happy with this. So Maggie's back later. She's got a new do. I didn't really notice the difference, but I know, I'm just a man. She was happy with it. That's the most important thing for her birthday. And she apologises to Maria for having words with her last week over the whole Will and Liam thing. But then when Maria's out the back of the salon, Maggie asks Bethany about what this beef is between Eva and Maria, and Bethany fills her in all about Aidan, which Maggie finds quite interesting. And then she invites them both to the party before Eva comes in and says, oh, come and have lunch with me. So I'm surprised that by this point Maggie hadn't asked what's the beef between Eva and Maria. You'd have thought that somebody with her ear to the ground quite as much as she is would be like, tell me everything.
Maybe it just comes naturally
Give me the ammo.
to her to have a grudge against somebody for no real reason.
Do you reckon?
Maybe it's taken her this long to be like, this really does seem like there might be something more to it than they just...
I suppose with the big revelation at the end of today's episode, we're supposed to think that Maggie is that much more dangerous than she had originally appeared, maybe. So, is Eva in any particular danger?
Oh, right. So here's a good question. Do you actually think that you do think that Maggie's dangerous? Because I don't at all. I just think she just took advantage of him falling down the stairs.
Should we wait until we get to the flashback, because I think that's where it's gonna launch off all the discussion about it. So anyway, Eva and Maggie end up in the cafe. And there's Maggie's like going, oh, they do egg and chips. Now there's posh for you.
Yeah, you're really not going to do your Irish accent?
No, I can't do it. I've had my critique. My pride is hurt.
Who else said it then?
No, I don't know. Maybe it was one person. I don't mind, honestly. I think it's funny. I don't want this person to feel bad about telling me. I know it's terrible, but I just do it for fun.
Isn't the joke that it's not supposed to be good?
Exactly. I don't mind.
I thought that was the joke.
Anyway, Roy gets an invite for tonight as well because he was there. And then, coincidence upon coincidence, Glenda and Sean are all kind of wondering out loud about Maggie's husband Alan and what went on with him then and how did he die. Best not ask her on her birthday, they decide though. And then you also got Megan there kind of whispering to Will to stop giving her and Daniel dirty looks. So Driscolls go out the back, they're pouring champagne, Will's grumpy, and then we get our very first flashback to 1990X. I quite like that they had it in the 4:3 aspect ratio. I thought that was quite a nice touch, did you?
And it was all very yellow and...
It was kind of slightly sepia tinged, wasn't it?
Yeah, sort of.
I think it's just the general cigarette staining that we actually had back in those days, yeah. But I thought it was a nice touch to make it... It was a nice obvious way of saying we're in a flashback now. And the first scene is Maggie's birthday, one of Maggie's birthdays. So we got young Maggie, we got Alan the husband, we got young Ben, and also his brother Finlay, who... He had been mentioned before this flashback, I think, but only fairly recently. It might have even been Monday's episode, I can't remember now, that he got his first shout out anyway. So the question is kind of, well, what's gone on with Finlay then? I think we'd been told he's over in America, but it's like, what's going on? Why is he there? Are we going to get to see him? And I think... that's definitely going to be on the cards for 2026. But anyway, it's Maggie's birthday back then.
Funny that, isn't it? It's the birthday of the same day every year.
I know.
How does she organise that?
We kind of learn that things aren't so good between Maggie and Alan. They've got a little bit of a fraught relationship, haven't they?
Well, she just keeps doing stuff and he keeps going, can you not do that? And she's like, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
And she's such a terrible mum because she's just saying, making them into selfish little brats, really. Like, oh, here's a game, even though it's my birthday. And the dad's like, eat your breakfast before you play on this game. And then she's like, no, they don't have to play. They don't have to do that. go and play your game.
Yeah, it felt
undermining
like
him continuously.
Yeah, it felt like she was at anything he said. She was just like, no, let's do it my way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you almost kind of watch it saying, why are they together? Is it just for the kids? Is it just for the kids? But she's very protective of these children. But you kind of get the impression as the flashback's gone on that Alan wouldn't trust her to look after them. You know, there's maybe even the undertones that she's possibly been violent with them in the past, because in the final flashback scenes he's saying, no way would I let you look after my kids. Do you think did it give you a worse impression of Maggie seeing her like that? Did it confirm what you already thought about her?
It's just what I mean. I don't feel like I've learned anything I needed to know that I didn't already kind of get. And I also think it would have been way more dramatic. It's clearly, it's clear that Finley, the character of Finley, he saw the mum...
you saw the tumble, didn't you?
Yeah. So he's obviously giving everybody a wide berth because he's got terrible memories. And then he's going to come back and we're going to know that he knows, but Maggie doesn't know that he knows. And that's the whole point of having this flashback.
Mm.
And that doesn't really feel like another way of doing it. But equally, I don't think that is it that important that we have a character we haven't met yet, get set up to have known something? And was there no other? I think there are other ways of telling this story that don't require a flashback.
Yeah, of course.
Like why? Like surely at some point Ben's going to say to Finley, "Why are you always so weird around Mum? Why are you always, why can't you just be nice? She's done everything she could for us. Yada yada yada."
Do you want to just talk through the flashback bits of the episode, because we seem hell bent on discussing the big revelation at the end about the fall, and we can. Because you've seen them twice. Do you want to do a quick?
I just wanted to, you're talking about why are they together and stuff, and I really cannot find out enough about it when I am doing a podcast at the same time. I'm trying to do two things at once, but it was only the mid-90s that I think it was easy to divorce. There's a history of divorce in Ireland. I don't know if they were in Ireland or if they were in Northern Ireland when this story happened.
I think that they were in Northern Ireland when this happened.
And whether there's some reason why, they couldn't separate or divorce. I'm just saying there's a history there that we don't know about.
We also get to see in another flashback that she's kind of raised her hand to him. So there's potentially a bit of domestic abuse there from her to him, and he's been a bit of a punching bag for her.
Yeah.
It's really tricky because I have enjoyed Maggie as a character, and I don't know whether this particularly soured me on her, because I don't think it's right to judge somebody or even change your opinion massively on them about something that they did or somebody that they were, 30, 35 years ago. It's tough because you got the idea that she was a bit of a harridan and a battle axe, but when you've had characters like that before, like Ina and Ivy and Blanche, they were always kind of funny battle axes, weren't they? Although yes. I suppose Ivy wasn't. Ivy really was a bit of a villain in a way to Gail.
Yes, yeah, I'm just looking it up. In 1995, they had a referendum in Ireland to remove the ban on divorce.
Yeah, okay, but I think this was Northern Ireland.
But she had family in Ireland, and they might have disowned her if she'd got a divorce.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
And she's also Irish, and she might also have just because it was only 50-50, it was very very nearly not passed. So women voted against this,
right?
As much as men did.
Okay.
There's probably loads. She might have been one of these women who were like, I don't think we shouldn't be allowed to divorce.
Mm.
If women always backed women up, our history would be so much different. But unfortunately, there are people like Maggie who are only in it for themselves. I don't know how she benefits from not getting rid of him. I guess maybe economically. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Well, there's also. I wonder whether she would. I wonder whether she would fear at all that she wouldn't keep hold of the children, or that would the children resent her, because it feels like she's very as I said, I do get the idea that she's very protective of them and that she's very kind and kind of love bomby with them.
She's not
because she knows
kind,
that she's
She's not kind. She's weird.
Yeah, but when you look at Ben, he doesn't seem to hold any kind of resentment towards his mum. He doesn't like fear her. He's not nervous around her.
My theory is that we find out we haven't talked about what's happened yet, but we find out that there was an affair 10 years ago, and I think that Maggie had an affair and Finley is the child, or they don't know whether Finley is the child of the affair or not.
It wasn't actually implied, but again, you can very easily put two and two together there, and Finley is not actually.
Even though it's not his fault, Maggie would have favoured Ben over Finley and would have gone, I love him more because I feel guilty and resentful over this affair that resulted in this child.
Possibly.
And the other thing about it is, don't you think it would have been, if this is all true, let's say this is all true and Finley saw this happen and he remembers this, wouldn't it have been way more interesting to have seen this come out in a fight between Finley, who I assume will rock up at some point, and Ben, where Ben's like, you're just jealous of me because my mum liked me more than she liked you, and it's because you're, and then maybe it could come out, oh, I'm the kid of an affair, or maybe it could come out, oh, I saw mum push dad down the stairs. There's not going to be a revelation that shocks us because we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think it would have been more exciting and dramatic to have seen it come out in an argument or through somebody telling somebody something they didn't know? Because we were just being shown stuff. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, except we did. Like as that top of the stairs scene started playing out, it was very, very inevitable that he was going to be.
It wasn't like nobody was expecting her to bring out a shotgun and blow his head off, were they?
I thought that
the only thing we were wondering is whether he was going to go over the edge like old
Rob Donovan.
Rob Donovan.
I thought that it was a little bit ambiguous about what happened because of the way that the tightness of the camera, and I don't know whether this was just filming restraints or whether it was done purposefully. You see, he's trying to push past her, and then you see him fall.
Yeah, they have
There's definitely no obvious shove from her, was there?
No.
And not like when David got Gail down the stairs. He's trying to go past her, and the next thing you know, I think it would be even fair to say that he slipped. She puts her hand on his shoulder, doesn't she?
Yeah, we just.
But she doesn't give a massive shove. It's almost you can't come past me. You can't see the boys.
It's like he falls backwards out of resignation.
It was. Look at the look on his face.
It's like, here we go again.
It's like. He is. It's like he's leaning back.
I'm fed up with her.
There's no kind of look of terror in his eyes. It was bizarre. So.
And then blood just pours out of his head.
Yeah, he's definitely not doing so well at the end.
No, he's a bit sick.
So. I think going into we said a couple of weeks ago that the rumour mill was spinning and saying that Maggie is a killer, but I don't think it's as simple as that. It's not a case of like you said, she took a shotgun to somebody or slit their throat on purpose.
She wasn't trying to push him down the stairs. She was trying to stop him from going up and see the kids.
There was an altercation.
Controlling.
Yeah. There was an altercation that she and he were involved in, which resulted in him falling down the stairs. And then she's clearly covered it up.
And again, this is really difficult because clearly there's all this bias as well, like gender bias. And it's interesting because we're also seeing coercive control, domestic abuse with Theo and Todd.
Everyone's going through it.
But also
at the moment.
people are
it's
saying that about Lisa and Carla as well, and Becky.
Mm.
So if it was a woman who was trying to get up to see her kids and the man was there going, no, you're not going to see the kids, then they had a sort of a squabble and then she fell down the stairs, would you go, oh, definitely, it's definitely the man's fault?
Mm.
Or would you also be saying, well, it was kind of, it was just an accident?
Yeah.
I think the thing, you can't deny that there's always a strength difference between men and women, so...
Yeah. I do wonder what she tells the police. Because presumably, I would think that she just told them he was like that at the bottom of the stairs when she came in. Or she heard a clash. What noise is making the stairs falling down the stairs saying,
It is interesting.
and then she found him there.
It is interesting that they never said how he died.
Who didn't?
The family, they're like, I guess you wouldn't though. They all know.
Yeah,
but nobody said, "Oh, how did he die?"
Well, they were asking him, weren't they? This was the topic of conversation in the pub during the episode.
Oh, But they never answered.
No, I don't think so.
They went, "Let me tell you in flashback."
Yeah, I did tell you, weren't you watching the flashback? Didn't you pay attention?
Well, who asked then?
Well, Sean was interested in, wasn't it? Well, we'll find out. We will flash back to that later. Tell you what, there's talking about non-linear storytelling. This podcast today, we're all over the place. So I guess that she tells the police that she found him like that.
I just could say that they were talking and he slipped. What can they prove?
It could have been. There surely wouldn't have been a mark on him, at least from this. But you do get the impression that she's been slapping him about a little bit, so there could have been other marks on his body, but then probably not, because she's got away with this. We're not to believe that she's been in prison. This is a crime on accident that she has got away with. I suppose the crime maybe is covering up the circumstances, which I assume she has done. But I don't, because I was thinking, you know, we got a murderer as the landlady of the Rover's Return now. That sounds a bit dark, doesn't it? And you know, you can't get away from the fact that she's definitely a very naughty girl and a pretty unpleasant person as that. And I think that's a bit of a new thing for Corrie. I mean, Dougie Ferguson was not the nicest of fellows, was he? I suppose Mike Baldwin wasn't as well, you could argue. But everybody who's been in charge of the Rovers so far has generally been liked, and they're supposed to be a beloved. It's it's an important role to get, isn't it? Rovers landlord, and to have it now as somebody who is, I'm gonna say, has probably got a bit of a ticking time bomb on them. Don't you think? It's a bit of a interesting choice.
I'm just thinking, she's a bitch, right? She clearly is. She's a terrible mother. She is selfish and cruel and all the rest of it. But she had a fight and there was an accident and her husband fell on the stairs, and those are two different things to me. I don't think. Do you think she's a murderer?
I don't at the moment see her as a murderer.
What I needed to see is what happened afterwards, because if she just leaves him and then, I just saw him 3 hours later.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because him falling down the stairs and dying is kind of what she maybe wanted. We're kind of led to believe.
It's very convenient for her that happened.
Yeah, finally all these years of him, I guess, constantly bringing up this affair are over, and she probably feels a huge weight off her mind. I get the idea that he's he's the victim, he's the innocent, he's just a straight up nice guy who is involved in this relationship where the woman has an affair. I don't think that he's supposed to be a baddie in this, is he?
No, I don't think so. Do you see what I mean though when I say what's the difference really between? I mean, not what's the difference, but we're linking these two things together. Like, she was a bad wife and a terrible mum, with the fact that her husband fell down the stairs and died. It's not really a link, is there?
No.
I mean, they were fighting at the top of the stairs because she's I'm just trying to say that. I don't know.
Do you think? Are you imagining?
It's not really a link. It's like it's not. He didn't die of her bad personality. He died because they were having a fight because she was being unreasonable, but that could have happened to anybody.
Yeah.
I just think.
Do you think that this does mean that the character of Maggie Driscoll is not long for this show?
This is what I mean. This is what I'm like. She to me, it feels like they're trying to link these two things together. Like, she's got like a murderous personality, but she doesn't. She's just horrible, and so therefore I don't see the link. I just don't.
But do you think that this is going to lead to her leaving the show? Is it going to be a?
How could this? This is what I'm saying. How could this? What could happen from this? So Finley comes back, and says, Mum pushed Dad down the stairs. That's not true. They had a fight. She shouldn't have been fighting with him. It was dangerous. Like any reasonable person could have said having a fight with somebody at the top of the stairs could cause an accident, right? So, but she didn't like premeditate it, and it's not like it was inevitable. It's not like she was so evil that he could have died at any moment because of how terrible she was.
No, but we did get the impression that she was physically abusive to him.
Yes.
Not so much that she could have killed him, but maybe she could have done.
Again, I'm going to say domestic violence is terrible, no matter who does it, but it's more dangerous.
She could have still taken a knife to him in the heat of the moment.
Why do you think that?
I think because there are bits where she's raising her hand to him.
There is such a huge difference between somebody who's a woman who's been culturally conditioned to think, I'm allowed to slap my husband because I'm a weak woman and it's not going to hurt him, and I'm just fiery and passionate. That's what she would have said. Don't you think? If you'd asked her, I'm just very passionate, I'm just fiery, and grabbing a knife and stabbing somebody.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she wouldn't. Who knows? Because we just didn't really learn enough about their relationship in this tiny mini flashback.
What I'm saying is,
the problem with the episode.
Nothing about this made me think, oh, this has condemned this character to an early grave or whatever. But
I think that Ben clearly doesn't know, does he? But Finley does. Does she know that Finley does? Because
No.
we said that the reason that Finley isn't here at the moment, has she shipped him off to Uncle whoever in America because it's inconvenient for him to be around.
Yeah.
So does she? So that would only need to happen if she knew that he saw. Right?
My theory is that he didn't tell anybody, and he was treated badly anyway, and he wasn't. Ben's the golden child and he's not. And so as soon as he could, he just left.
So, okay.
And maybe he's always known this happened. And
but didn't say.
And hasn't said anything.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been that he asked her about it and she says, no, you didn't see it right. He fell, he slipped. But yeah, I think it's probably more likely going to be said that he hasn't told her that she
It's also
knew.
Quite possible that she doesn't remember that it happened that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
or like her perception of it was different from maybe what Alan would have said if he hadn't died.
Yeah, I mean, if Finley comes back, he's going to reveal at some point somehow, probably to Ben, I saw what Mum did.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then Ben is either going to not believe him or he's going to completely side with him and then turn against his mother.
I think what they've done...
Or does Eva find out first?
I don't know.
If Eva finds out before Ben and she's got this gossip on her mother-in-law from hell, but Ben doesn't believe her, I don't know. That could be quite interesting.
I think what they've done is create a situation where it's perfectly possible that Maggie could stay for ages, or she could get, carted off. Do you know what? It's so ambiguous. If they wanted her to be a proper villain, I'm just saying, if they wanted her to be a proper villain, they could have had such less ambiguous scenarios than what they've done this purposefully. This is not like we actually watched something real happen. This was purposefully done in a way that you're still not really sure. Is she a villain? And what we saw of her, slapping, trying to slap Alan, we didn't see anything else of what he was doing.
Yeah.
You don't know what that relationship was like. You just saw her raise her hand to him and him immediately grab it. He didn't strike me as somebody who's been abused into submission. He was incredibly capable of stopping her.
Yeah.
It's not like he was cowering and saying, don't hurt me, or I'm scared of you, or I'm too afraid. He was like, no, you're not going to slap me. He was like...
It was, but almost a bit like a Mick and Lou kind of situation where they're both pretty fiery.
He wasn't surprised. It's like he was expecting it to happen.
Yeah. I just
I'm
think that with this scene
right or wrong, I'm just
now,
saying that's
viewers are going to, I think, really going to be anti-Maggie. And I don't think that she was the most popular of the Driscolls, just from reactions that I've read online now anyway. And I think that having a character with this blemish on their past, literally as the landlady of the Rover's Return, I think it's... Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really hard.
You're really
for
hung
viewers
up on that.
to take to her.
That she's the landlady.
Yeah,
and she's naughty.
Yeah.
I like her. I say.
I enjoy her.
Anyone who kills their husband, I like.
Hang on a minute.
Well, why do you think we always move somewhere with no stairs? So I don't get tempted.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. Because we have seen her showing a compassionate side, haven't we? We've had these clues over the past few weeks.
She's such a weird character.
Because one of the first things we saw was her having that scene in Victoria Gardens with Asher. And we've also seen her be very, very loyal to her family. She's sitting down with Will and saying, well, we Driscolls, we fight back, which I suppose was possibly a reference to this. And she's not all bad. She's been the life and soul of the party. She's been friendly with a lot of the locals, and maybe it's just because she wants to get something out of them. I don't know. But it was almost a shame that we only saw a little bit of her after Monday's episode, and there was no follow up from this at all. And who knows when the next bit of this story is going to come out. I hope it's not going to be too late.
She's got such an abrasive personality, right? And what she's saying about, you got to take what you want in life, no one's going to give it to you. It seems like such a weird, unusual thing, especially for a woman to say.
But it seems like quite a Corrie woman thing to say, isn't it?
No,
like a strong woman, we don't need no man, we can do it.
No, but she's like, no way. That's not what women are like on Corrie. Women aren't like don't go out to hurt people.
No, they're not to hurt people, but they stand up for themselves.
But you can see the difference between standing up for yourself and going, I'm gonna take advantage of people, which is what she's saying.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is, we did see enough evidence in the clip as a whole, the clips we saw, to maybe imagine that at some point Maggie wasn't like this, and it's like a combination of being powerless and seeking control over very petty things. Like, if Alan really has been a checked out husband for 10 years and it's because of this affair, and she's trapped in this marriage because she can't get divorced for her own reasons or legal reasons or family pressure or whatever, imagine how powerless you would feel as a woman living in Ireland and then moving to Northern Ireland. Anywhere, you have had less power as a woman in the past. Yeah. And having to grab it for yourself and going, look, this entire culture is against me because I'm not in charge of the family. I'm not the head of the family. So I'm just gonna take what I want and ignore Alan. He can say and do what he wants, but he's not the boss of me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
is there that cultural element to it?
I don't know.
And
maybe
it's not as though everywhere else is a paradise. Of course not. I'm just trying to
see things from Maggie's point of view. Go Team Maggie.
Well, because it's such a weird thing for a character to be like in a soap. Who is so ambiguous. I really like characters like this. I think they're much more interesting. Yeah, she's got a lot of layers to her. She's definitely not, she's no Ollie Driscoll, I'll tell you that. Because women have it drummed into them, like, be nice, be permissive, allow, people want to do something, be kind and share. And she's like, no, don't share and be nice to people. But it's not... Obviously, some people have a completely different personality whereby you couldn't tell them that anyway. But was she at one point nice? Why did Alan marry her and have kids with her? She can't have been like this from the beginning, or was she? But I think we need to, at some point, flash forward back to 2025. But before we do, we haven't really touched on this affair and what it could mean and kind of who it was with and the theories there. Because we haven't really explained anything that's happened here. It's fine. Has everybody got what happened? Yes, I think people get it. In the flashbacks. We know what happened now, right? Yeah. So, who was this affair with? Because a lot of
people, me included, went into Monday's episode not only thinking Maggie's going to kill someone here today, but also thinking, ooh, we're going to find out what she saw in Ken's dresser. And there was nothing of that, was there?
No.
Not a hint. But people have kind of put two and two together and said, okay, was there something in Ken's dresser that was linked to this affair now? Because we'd said, basically people are saying, has she had an affair with Peter Barlow? That seems to be the current favoured theory going on here, doesn't it? And there's a picture of him in the dresser, none on top of the dresser for whatever reason at the time. She saw that and she's like, oh, I remember him. That's Ben's da. It's real da.
Yeah.
Do you like that theory? Do you think that's likely?
Do you think that they put Peter Barlow in the cupboard, if it is him, because the picture she would have seen of the Peter she had an affair with wouldn't have been Chris Gascoigne?
No, don't be ridiculous.
And then, why?
What do you mean? Oh, why?
Chris Gascoigne wasn't Peter Barlow before the year 2000.
I don't think we're supposed to think about things like that too much. I think he was in the world of Coronation Street. No, I think... Do you reckon that it was Peter? Because I've seen people thinking it could be Peter, maybe it was Mike Baldwin, for whatever reason. There was a picture of him in there. Or Ray Langton was another one.
Yeah, all those characters are still alive on the show, because I just Googled them quickly and didn't do any more research.
I think Peter is not unlikely.
So Ray Langton is Tracy's dad.
Yeah, I think he would have been too old, really, to have had an affair with him.
But he was still around until...
he died in 2004,
because he buggered off to America.
Yeah, but I don't think he was around. He was in Holland for a bit and then he went to America, so I don't think it was him.
Both Holland and America do let Irish people in.
They do, don't they?
So she could have met him there.
People are saying that it was Mike, but I don't think it would have been. I think that would probably be a Toya-style retcon too far.
If it was Mike...
But Peter wasn't in the show at this time, so...
I'm just saying, if it was Mike, no one would care.
Well, if
Why are you only... You can't make a TV show where a character who hasn't been in it for how many years? How many years?
What,
20 years? 15?
Yeah, yes.
20?
20 odd, yeah.
There's a character who hasn't been in it for 20 years and she had an affair with him.
I think...
We would find that interesting, but, probably 50% of the people watching it wouldn't know who the hell that was.
It would affect Adam, wouldn't it? Saying that Ben and Adam are brothers, but I think that Peter is the most likely option at the moment, and that would mean that there's a new branch, a new twig on the Barlow family tree.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? If it is Peter, it means, yes, that there are still people in the show that therefore Maggie's opened up a relationship with.
Yeah,
but
Ken
it also
is Ben's granddad.
Means that maybe, just maybe, Peter might come back.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody is thinking Chris Gascoigne has thrown in the towel on Corrie forever.
Over the years, he has been back and forth like a back and forthy thing. I don't know.
Boomerang.
That's it.
You talk about Becky being the spiky-haired spectre at the feast, but if there is another ghost that haunts Lisa and Carla's relationship, it is surely Peter Barlow. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that Swallow fans could cope with another, because we're all thinking, Becky's going to be done and dusted before Easter's here, right? We're all thinking that. And then if there's a returning challenger in the form of Peter Barlow following on after that, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, it fits very nicely. I mean, it's probably quite retconny, isn't it? But
it's not really.
Not really. But it's another one of these coincidences, isn't it? Like 1 in a million chance that the pub that I move into next door is the dad of the person that I had an affair with.
And I didn't even
all these years ago in a different country.
And I didn't even want this pub. It's just my son is going out with a girl who lived here.
I'd go with that. People were just talking about this flashback for so long. The other theory going into Monday's episode was that she was somehow involved in the death of Susan Barlow.
Everyone killed Susan Barlow.
That was going around, and I didn't think that was likely, and I'm glad that it didn't, because with Billy's already been linked to that. Having somebody else who just coincidentally happened to be there as some kind of, I don't even know how it would have worked. Would she have been a co-conspirator with Billy or whatever it was that he was doing?
Weirdly enough, the car that ran Susan Barlow over did have a nickname.
What's that?
It was called the Orient Express. So it makes sense that everybody in it was responsible.
Yeah, no,
And it had, it was like actually a minibus.
I'm glad that one didn't come into fruition, I have to say. But yeah, Peter having an affair with Maggie is something that I'm kind of locking onto at the moment. I just hope it's not too long before we find out. I mean, maybe it's going to be some Christmas Day revelation. That's where my money is on at the moment. Is that it for the flashback, do you think? I think we've covered everything there. We're sort of a bit exhausted of that. So let's go back to our party then. And really it was just they were having a party, weren't they? And that kind of carried them through Monday's episode. They're talking about Glenda's commenting to Eva how Maggie's going down well with the punters, and Eva says, yeah, but she's an absolute cow to me. So this is gonna, when this all comes out, this is gonna be hopefully a moment of triumph for Eva when she's like, I knew all along that she was an evil witch, and now I found out that she pushed her husband down the stairs. But Glenda's like, no, come on, you're not the first woman to have a problem with their mother-in-law. I think you two really need to try and get on. We also get to see a little bit on Monday.
I don't think it's fair to put it on Eva because it is just Maggie.
Yeah. No,
it's just Maggie being an absolute ghastly cow.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
There's nothing you can do with that woman. She wants to hate Eva no matter what happens. And do you think it's because she's just really possessive of Ben?
Yeah, I think so. But you get the impression that Ben's first wife, she was a bit more of a fan of, don't you? So maybe it's just something to do with Eva, I don't know. There's also a bit of Lauren and Will action on Monday's episode, isn't there?
Interesting.
She finds him drinking in the Ginnel because he's just drowning his sorrows over seeing Megan and Daniel all over each other, and he gets invited back to the pub with her, and before long she's telling him what a nice lad he is, and he's leaning for a kiss. So he's seen Megan all over Daniel, and I guess this is some kind of revenge, is it? Or feeling like, well, she can do it, so can I. But Lauren's not having any of that, and this just gets him even more fuming. What else did we have? Eva and Maria having a bit of a snipe. Eva trying to bar her. Maggie's like, no, actually, you can't do that. You would have never got near this place if you hadn't been for my money. You're not barred, Maria, don't worry. We had a bit of Eva and Leanne. A lot of Monday's episode, and I know we've kind of been tearing it apart a little bit. I did like all the Rovers stuff. The fact that there was this whole episode that was almost exclusively set inside the Rovers was really quite refreshing and a bit old school Corrie, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think the trouble is about it is that anytime you say, oh, it's a special episode, it's a flashback episode, you just put a burden on your back to make something amazing. And it was...
The flashback was almost the minor part of this.
It was, yeah.
There's stuff with Eva and Leanne. Eva's just telling Leanne what a cow and Maggie is. She says it's like living with the Sopranos, and it does, right from the beginning we have got the idea that Maggie could have been a bit of a crime boss sort of person. I don't think she was, but it's interesting that Eva made that comparison there. And Ben's listening in at the door as Eva's bad-mouthing his mum, and he comes in and says, before you ask Leanne, the castration was pretty painless. So Eva's is saying that Maggie has just manipulated him, and he again doesn't seem to have a problem with his mum whatsoever, and maybe he does need to stand up to her a little bit and regrow a pair. I
don't understand how he can't see that Maggie is making Eva's life incredibly difficult.
If I was Eva, I would.
I think Eva's right to be like, no, maybe you do.
You need to
maybe
tell your mum.
She does have your balls in her purse.
Yeah. There's a little side story with Tracy, isn't there, and Rita, and because all the wrinklies there, Rita and Ken, I've called them that before, are talking about, isn't life precious, and
I don't want to die, do you? No, I don't
kind
want
of stuff.
to.
It's basically, Rita and Ken saying who's going to cling on the longest. And Rita's telling Tracy, don't take your time with Ken for granted. And then later on in the episode, Tracy goes back to find Ken at home in his chair and says, look, I didn't... Because he makes a joke, doesn't he, about selling up number one for the pub. And I thought that was really that was really weak, and it was like clearly a joke, but it wasn't a very funny joke, and Tracy kind of believes it for a bit. I didn't. Did you?
Well, yeah, and she's like, oh.
You had me thinking you were selling number one.
And he's like, I was just a joke. And she goes, oh, well, I'll promise to spend more time with you then.
Yeah, that's how it ends up.
And a lot of people are now saying, oh, Tracy's going to die.
Yeah, this is the new theory, isn't it? Because, Tracy, it has been confirmed, is going to be involved in the Corridale crossover. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler for anyway. I mean, I think saying someone is it. So, you mean, write me in and give me a virtual slap in the wrist if that's what spoiled it for you. But yeah, people are suggesting that is Tracy going to come out of this because she's starting to make up with Ken. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's likely?
No.
I don't think
this
so.
Just makes me think Ken's going to die more than Tracy.
Ken's
not going to.
No, he's not going anywhere.
I think Ken is the person who I am most convinced will never have an on-screen death.
But I suppose the only reason that I'm thinking is it's a maybe for Tracy is that we know that Kate Ford has wanted to reduce her amount of time in the show, and over the past couple of years she's had quite long stretches of time off, and it was in the storyline when she was off in Spain or wherever with Tommy O, and maybe she's decided, no, I'm going to throw in the towel for good. So I don't think it's completely out of the question, but I think it's still a little unlikely.
What she said makes no sense for it to be a premonition of her death. To me.
Well, it depends. Is she going to, make amends with Ken and kind of make peace with him? Not that she's been warring at him or anything, but are we going to have some nice little family scenes where he's like, oh, Tracy, this is the closest I've ever felt to you.
Yeah.
And then she dies.
Well, no.
You don't think?
No, I don't. And I also don't think, now she said all this, it would make any sense for her to go, oh, you know what, this has made me think, I'm leaving.
I don't know.
Do you know, of course it's not going to...
I mean, I suppose if this whole Maggie is Ben Peter's brother, that doesn't make him blood related to Tracy at all, does it?
Not at all.
But it's
Tracy
a new member to the family, I suppose.
Are not related.
At least. No. What else did we have? This whole Lauren thing with Will. Maggie walks in on that, doesn't she? She doesn't like it, and Maggie is always quite threatening to Lauren. Is like saying, "Don't you come near my son," when it was actually Will that was making the first move there, and Megan's kind of listening into this as well, and Maggie's like to Lauren, it's fine, look, we're sorted now, I don't want to have anything more to do with this, but she has kind of marked Lauren's cards there. She then goes back to the party and does a little bit of fortune telling, which was kind of fun. She says to Alia, it seems you'll be having an unexpected visit or an invitation. I don't know what that's about, I don't know. I'm not, I don't care. Ollie finds Lauren having a bit of a mope on the stairs.
Well, he says someone's going to be jealous of Alia and mean her ill will. Who could be jealous of Alia?
What is there to be jealous of? I don't know. Ollie finds Lauren moping on the stairs, and she tells him about what happened with Will, and he says, look, don't worry about Maggie, her bark's worse than a bite, and I suppose that's all supposed to be foreshadowing to make you go, oh my gosh, she pushed her husband down the stairs later on. We've got everyone having a song and dance in the bar.
Megan talks to Will about he tried to kiss Lauren, and he says, no, you and Daniel tried to kiss each other, and she says, you can't, I wish we could be in the open, but we can't, so we'll get through this, but you need to stop kissing other girls, and, so she's getting just as jealous as he is, really.
Yeah.
Also, Maggie notices Adam complimenting Eva on her voice, and then she confronts Eva about them having an affair, and Eva's like, no, look, I love Ben, and Ben knows about Adam, so don't worry about it.
I suppose finding out about this affair with Eva maybe was triggering affair thoughts from Maggie, and that's what made the flashbacks.
This is
come
all
in.
just this is very complicated because like 3 different things are happening. Even though this is the same group of characters, we've got the storyline with Megan and Will and Lauren. We've got the storyline about the flashback and the history of Maggie.
Yeah.
And then we've got the fact that she's having a birthday and she's having a fight with Eva.
I think that's basically it for Mondays, isn't it?
I mean, we could have just cut out
It's all
everything
go in the pub. Nothing really happens, but it was nice to have people just having a lovely time together.
Or was it?
I
I'll tell you what I
enjoyed
did
it.
like about it was all the music. And if you do decide to watch it on YouTube, you're just going to have to realise that I think they cut the music out.
Yeah, just check it out on ITVX is our recommendation here.
I've heard some people have bought YouTube Premium just so they can watch. Well, one of the reasons is to watch Corrie, but if you're in the UK, I think it's probably makes more sense to pay for ITVX.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're going to edit out for YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. So Wednesday, Ben's got this mega hangover. Maggie's exceedingly cheery and just like, oh, I'll go and buy you all bacon balm. So she's got quite a constitution there. But I think Eva says she's just covering it up. But I don't know. She was doing a good job of pretending that she was absolutely fine after having quite a bit to booze the night before. In the cafe, Maggie's there with Daniel and teasing him about Megan a little bit and says, look, you should give it all you got with her. You go for it, boy. We have Eva and Ben making Will apologise to Lauren for leaning in for a snog yesterday, and he kind of snarls that at her before heading out. But then when he gets into the hallway, he gets a message from Megan asking for him for a training session at 4:00. So that's kind of puts a spring in his step as he heads out. So he and Megan meet up outside Sweetie Enough, and he says, look, all I want to do is be with you. Can we forget what happened? But then, what a coincidence, who should walk past and see them together but Lauren?
Yeah.
Another Corrie coincidence. It might as well have just been Liam with his drone at this point. But
Megan's caressing his face or something.
yeah, they're kind of not full-on canoodling, are they? But
It's
Lauren
not conclusive.
No.
But it's weird.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren gets the impression that there's more to their relationship than meets the eye, at least. So she confronts Will about this later and says, you seem pretty close there. What were you doing there together? And he doesn't even want to look at her at this point. He just says, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. And Lauren says, look, you be careful. I wonder whether Lauren was... Should she have done more at this stage? Because
Why?
She's an adult now. I know she's only a few years away from Will. Don't know, should it have been more obvious to Lauren that there is a serious red flag here? Because she says, just you watch it. But it would feel like the more responsible thing to do to say, what the hell are you doing? Are you having an affair with this woman? Don't you think?
He was not having an affair with her.
What?
He's being groomed.
Yeah, I know. Well, she could have called it whatever. But I think...
Oh, Cold, we can't all be responsible for everyone else all the time.
Well, she does end up just spying on him for the rest of the lesson.
She doesn't. She had the rest of the lesson.
Episode.
We haven't all been trained in safeguarding. Okay. Have we?
No, but she knows that this is proper dodgy what she's suspecting here.
There is a reason why professions have mandated safeguarding. And it's because not everyone's going to get involved. And that's not a good excuse when you're in a position whereby you should be responsible.
Lauren herself was groomed, wasn't she? So you would have thought that she'd be extra hyper-vigilant to this. Oh, no, I'm not. I assume that at some point she is going to do it. And it's kind of interesting that it's her who was the one to discover it, considering her history with Joel. But yeah, she's just hanging around in the background for Monday's episode. And this
is Wednesday.
Wednesday's episode, sorry. Did I say Monday? And Will calls Megan to say, you got to watch out because Lauren's possibly onto us. And Will and Lauren are both glaring at Daniel and Megan in a booth later in the pub.
For different reasons.
Yes, exactly. Megan's admitting to Daniel that Will might have a crush on her. And Daniel says, look, just keep him at arm's length, or at least make it clear that you're his coach and nothing else.
I think that was a bit of a mistake for her to have told this to Daniel, because now he's going to be looking at, be watching Will to see what he does, and he's unhinged himself.
Yes.
I mean, he's pushed children down the stairs.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
So watch out.
Do next?
I mean, what's the difference between what he did with Max and what Maggie did with Alan.
Yeah, that's a good point. Max
One
just
died.
took a bit of a easier tumble. He was a bit bouncier.
If Max had died, it would have been the same thing. Maybe
Well,
Alan should have been tougher. Huh?
Daniel actually did give him a proper shove, didn't he? Whereas Maggie, it was just a little gentle arm on the shoulder.
See, I always get hung up on if you don't like attempted murder not being as bad as murder. To me, I think that's just as bad. Like if you had to go, that's what I think that just because you're crap at it doesn't mean you get rewarded with less time in prison. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So really, actually, Daniel's a worse person than Maggie because he actually did try to push somebody downstairs.
Hot take.
I've said quite a few times that I think Daniel's a bit of a mess, haven't I?
Well, yeah,
he's a bit of a psychopath.
Well, Daniel, he would be related to
Everyone is.
Yeah, he'd be related to Ben if this theory comes true, wouldn't he?
Oh God.
And Maggie, yeah. Anyway, at the end of the episode, we have Megan agreeing to go upstairs with Daniel. He invites her back in for a cup of euphemism.
So cringe.
So,
he's so pleased with himself.
Yeah, he. Did you reckon they've actually gone up there and consummated their relationship?
I don't care.
Will's not going to be happy with him.
One point,
Daniel better watch his back.
Megan touches her stomach.
Oh yeah, you saw that, didn't you?
So she's clearly pregnant.
Do you think? I mean, why else would you do it in a soap?
If she's smart, devious, she then will say it's Daniel's to try and get away. Because who else would it have been?
Yeah.
Who's else's kid? That's my prediction.
Some bloke in Hull.
2026. Megan's up the duff, and but it says it's Daniel's baby.
Okay. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Find out.
And you've already got the storyline title for it.
Megan's preggers, yeah. I don't think the dates are going to line up quite so well if that's the case.
Well, it depends on how pregnant she is.
Yeah, but if she's,
and also he's
pregnant enough to be touching her tum, then
he's an English teacher. He's not a maths teacher.
Okay, right. I think we've kind of said all there is to say about this. I'm still not super into the Will and Megan side of the story. Lauren's inclusion into it has admittedly given it a little bit more interest.
So hang on a minute. So if Daniel is related to Ben and Maggie, if Peter is involved, yeah, that means he's related to Will as well. So he could end up with a girlfriend who's got his second cousin's baby. Oh, I don't know.
There's too much to think about. I think Corey just needs to tell us.
You know how you have family trees and things? I think it feels like in a soap, it's more like a bacterial culture that kind of like spreads across a petri dish. Or like, like a fungus.
Does with certain families.
Where like these branches just go and they just get into everything. It's like dry rot.
And Ken is the progenitor.
Oh, that sounds like a horror movie.
Shall we move on
I have to do this, do I?
You got to do the Swala story, yeah.
Again,
there were some really good moments in this.
I know, but it was just them breaking up with each other. It's like Memento or what's that movie? Where
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's like the Groundhog Day of relationships or 50 First Dates, where they keep forgetting that they've already broken up with each other.
This week was very much like, will they get back together? Yes, no. Maybe, no.
So there's an awkward breakfast at the Connor Swains because they're all there, and Carla's like, pass me the butter. And then,
pass me my butter?
No, I think then Lisa goes,
Oh yeah, she says it's kind of a what's the magic word?
And she's like, pass me my butter.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
I thought Carla was ace this week in her passive aggressiveness.
But she doesn't follow through all the way. Like she keeps breaking down and kind of like relenting to Lisa, and Lisa doesn't seem to get who Carla is really, because she doesn't understand how completely different Carla is being with her than she's been with anybody else she's ever been with.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't many people that she has had a relationship with that she would have let this happen with.
No.
Because this is actually bonkers. And she keeps, every so often, it's like it's almost like it is real, and she's just woken up out of this stupor. Like, sometimes you have this in your life where you're in a situation and it is bonkers and you keep forgetting how bonkers it is, and every so often you go, this is mad. It's actually mad. And so every so often she breaks the spell of like, this is just normal, and goes, no, this isn't normal. This dead woman's eating my butter.
Yeah.
Betsy, oblivious.
Betsy, totally oblivious to this whole thing.
I mean,
think she kind of gets it a little bit more as the week goes on.
Some people saying that she's sweet and naive and precious and innocent. Others saying she's old enough to know better and she's just being,
Well, the fact that she was, Little Miss Weatherfield Blackmailer 2024 means that she does have a little bit of nous, but she seems completely and utterly blind
funny
what her mum's doing here.
That she came in like Becky's daughter, and now she's more like Lisa's daughter.
Yeah.
Because Becky would definitely be like, yeah, brilliant, you did a blackmail, that's excellent work. So, Betsy's talking about all them being together at Christmas, and Becky's just winding Carla up about
the fact that she's staying and not going to Spain.
And Carla's like, she's making fun of Carla going to Roy's for Christmas, saying, you and Trainspotter sucking sherry and playing Scrabble, party. I mean, last year they all ate pizza with pineapple on it, so what's the diff? As long as they enjoy themselves, that's all that matters, isn't it?
We get a lot more, a bit more, I suppose, Costello this week, don't we? And a bit more Lainey Costello, whose name I keep forgetting. I'm going to continue to forget that.
What's the mum called? Jan?
No, was it not this? The person who was it Leah B something like this who set up the business? I can't remember, but
what was it?
I think I was saying last week on the podcast, why haven't they bothered casting her? Haven't they got the budget for it? And now they have. Although I don't think we really get to find out too much about her, other than she's just generic wife figure.
Oh look, it's wife.
Yeah.
So Lainey is at looking at Costello.
Yeah, at the hospital.
And so's the mum.
Yeah.
And the daughter's like, oh, he's not woken up. He's supposed to be retired now. He's 1 day away from retirement when this happens. Like, really, come on.
Well, he was supposed to have retired
like
in the summer.
45. What is
I know. It? Well, black don't crack, Gemma.
Well, I was thinking more like, why do police officers get to retire at a ridiculously young age?
Yeah,
get them to do paperwork.
Exactly.
Well, there's loads of jobs that could retire early because of how much bloody work it is.
Costello, he was supposed to have retired in the summer, but for some reason decided to keep his job on. So that's mystery number one for Jerome this week.
Well, it's not though, is it? It's because of Becky.
Yeah, it's something related.
It's not a mystery to us.
But we don't know exactly
They don't know why he's decided not to. Maybe he just likes his job.
Yeah.
Kit turns up and Mrs. Costello's like, oh, thanks for coming, but go away.
Yeah, Kit overhears them talking about him being close to retire, or the fact that he was going to retire, wasn't he?
Well,
he didn't know this little nugget
He's
before.
picking up all these clues about Costello's financial situation that is probably going to help him realise what's going on a bit more, but I don't really care about this element of it.
No, I don't care.
Feels
whatsoever.
like a bit of a weird trail of breadcrumbs to follow, don't you? Because we all know that they're up to some kind of dodgy money thing. Because they spoke about it.
Yeah.
He's not going to discover anything
It's
we
not
don't
a mystery
know.
To us.
I'd rather that he was on the case of something that is a revelation to us as well as him. But he goes to see Lisa at number 6 and tells her, and Becky's there too, about the fact that Costello was going to retire. And Lisa's like, oh, I didn't know that. Kit's like, yeah, you think he would have told us, and something dodgy's going on, and he's going to look into it a bit more. So he goes to see Carla, and he's still trying to recruit Carla to help him. And sometimes she says yes, and sometimes she says no, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Sometimes she's like, no, I'm in a mood. And other times she's like, actually, no, I am intrigued. So he tells her about their retirement plans and that Becky's turned up, and he thinks they're linked and something's not right. Is it really difficult to put this all together? Kit crosses paths with Becky in the street, who, again, just wandering around. Not hiding from the gang or from the revelation that she is not dead. And he says, watch your back, I'll get my eye on you. And also Carla has as well. And Becky's like, I don't care. She goes into the factory, finds Carla there, who's boozing away.
Oh, this was fun.
And then she starts singing like the Christmas Eve
Fairy Tale of New York.
Fairy Tale of New York, which is very meta because that's the song that Alison King and Chris Gascoigne sang together when they did that trailer.
It was for the tech. They did it on Tech Santa, didn't they?
Yeah, so they forced
ago.
these poor actors, some of whom clearly did not want to do it, to sing along.
Some of them maybe shouldn't have done it.
And they were singing this song. So it's weird because it is kind of like Carla and Peter's song, but not in the world of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting choice. But she's just teasing her.
It's because the lyrics are in the drunk tank and Carla is there
exactly.
3 sheets to the wind.
So Becky's like, stay away from Lisa while you're drunk. She's under a lot of stress. And Carla says, here you go, here's the 2 tickets to the Canary Islands for you and Lisa because you've won, Becky. And she's like, oh no, I haven't. I wasn't playing games, but this is what I wanted. I do love Lisa and we're meant to be together. And Carla says, so you'd have forced her to love you? I had no chance. And Becky's like, nope, not really. Bye then. Stay away from number 6. You go to the Canaries and maybe you'll meet someone there. So then Carla comes in and she's like, haha, I was only pretending to be drunk. I've actually got this dirt on Becky. And she plays the recorded messages, about Becky,
Yeah, she's admitting that she is trying to steal Lisa back from Hell or High Water.
And Becky's like, yeah. I mean, this doesn't work at all. She's like, yeah, I love Lisa and I always have. So what? And Carla says, you're just being devious and dishonest and underhanded. And Betsy's like, well, that was weird what you just did. Like, pretending to be drunk and recording her. That's weird as well.
Lisa just gets fed up of it, doesn't she?
She's like, I'm not some prize to be won.
Yeah, she does her Princess Jasmine and splouts
walks off. And Carla's like, I know, I'm going to find out more about you. Inconclusive who won that.
I appreciated that scene just for...
I like that Carla tried to do something. It was just not a very Carla result, was it? Because normally Carla's the one that wins.
Yeah, it was fun.
Felt
Becky
unsatisfactory
was fun in that scene.
for Carla. So Carla goes to the hospital and she just walks into Costello's room because even though he was mugged and he is like a big name in the police and they haven't caught the person who mugged them and they really are just assuming it was a mugging and not like a targeted attack from one of the gangs that are apparently running Manchester now. There's no guard on the door or anything. You'd think they would be like, oh, we don't know who did it, so maybe they're out to get him.
Yeah.
There could be more to this than a mugging.
Yeah, anyone can just walk in.
Yeah, just whatever. It's not like you're going to inject him with air. That'd be stupid. So Costello wakes up and she's saying, ooh, she's like, hello. First of all, she's like, hello, I'm Lisa's girlfriend, old fiance. Sometimes we've broken up and sometimes we haven't, okay? So don't ask. I can't remember where we are now, but I'm her fiance. I think Becky attacked you, right? And he's like, yes. Nodding.
Well, he nods, doesn't he? He's not very able to communicate whatsoever. He's
sleepy.
Sleepy and a bit brain damaged.
No, he's sleepy because he's just been watching, a documentary about something really, really important. So he's like, oh, I'm very tired now. That's a very worthy documentary, but I need to sleep and think about it. And she says, I think that Becky was behind the attack. Where can I find evidence? And he goes, Rhubarb Hill. And she's like, oh, Rhubarb Hill. So she and Kit talk and they're going, wonder where that is then. We need to look this up. And Carla says, no, I'm bored. I'm going to bed.
People have looked up Rhubarb Hill. And is there not a place in Yorkshire people are finding?
There is a place in Yorkshire. I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't plenty of places called Rhubarb Hill, especially in Yorkshire.
I think that he was actually saying Rupert Hill, and we're going to be getting to see Jamie Baldwin come back on the street at some point soon.
Yeah,
so
nice. He's
maybe.
Good. Or I'm thinking it's a reference to the dodgy dealings that has been going on at Dev's, who had unseasonable rhubarb in his shop. Where's that rhubarb come from?
Maybe it wasn't Rhubarb Hill, and he said Rhubarb Hull because everything's going on in Hull at the moment.
No, I think it's something
Rupert
to do.
Hull.
A Rhubarb Hill of counterfeit rhubarb that Dev's hiding in the Ginnel.
Maybe.
And it's all connected with Curtis's gang, and they're running rhubarb.
I don't really have any theory whatsoever about what this rhubarb hill can be.
Well, no, at
surely
the end
Carla
we find
must
out
have...
it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Yes,
don't
we
know.
do. That's what I think's happened.
Do you really?
Yes.
Because the nurse says it's nothing.
Well,
but
let's get to it.
Okay.
Right, so Friday, Lisa's doing like some angry ironing when Becky walks in, and she says, I'm sick of all this. I'm sick of being in the middle, and I'm not taking any relationship advice from you either. So leave me alone. And then Mrs. Costello is at the station when Kit's there, and she's like packing up his stuff or something, and she's like, look at this photo of me in front of a mansion.
That was the worst curry photoshopping I've ever seen.
This would have had to have been a photo of them kneeling in the middle of the road.
They didn't even try and make them look the right height,
with
did
the light
they?
shining
Let
on their
alone the
face.
shadows. It was the worst.
terrible.
It was a really, really terrible.
If you show me this picture and go, look at my mansion, I'd say, oh, yeah, that's your mansion, isn't it? Oh, that's lovely. Is that where you wish you lived? Anyway, so he works out that they've just moved very recently to this new place.
Called
and luckily for him, it's got the name in front of it. And this is a tip to all you people who are so rich your houses have names. Remember how easily Kit found out all the dirt just from this photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Raven's Gill sounds a bit like Rhubarb Hill, doesn't it?
It does.
So maybe he was just saying his house name wrong. Don't know.
I want to go back to Ravensgill. Anyway, so Carla's like talking to Royler and going, maybe I should just go to Lanzarote. And this is when I realised that Lanzarote is in the Canary Islands.
Yes.
I don't know anything about any of this holiday places. Anywhere that's a holiday destination, I've got no idea where it is.
Didn't we work out? Isn't Tenerife in the Canary Islands
is
as well, where Jenny's gone off to at the moment?
Somewhere floating away from Spain? Is it?
No, it's near Africa.
I thought it was off. This is what I mean.
I don't know.
I never get to go to any of these places, so I don't know where or care where they are.
There's been some funny stuff on a classic on ITV3 this week where you remember the story where Hayley ended up going to Africa with Roy to do their little trek or whatever that they did, and the opportunity has arisen this week for them to go, and Roy's like, you can't just drop everything and emigrate in a day, how ridiculous. And that's like 15 years old, nearly 20 years later, that's exactly what people are doing.
We've invented technology that helps us.
Yes, you're right, to just disappear off the face of the planet.
Roy's like, maybe you shouldn't just go to the Canary Islands because maybe it sends a message that you don't want to. So she goes back home and Betsy's there moaning about her musty laundry.
Oh, what?
Her musty laundry.
Well, shit, I missed that.
Carla was very nice to her and tells her she loves her, and she's like being very supportive, but she also says a bunch of stuff about Lisa that Lisa hears as she's listening in the doorway. And Carla's saying, you know, Lisa's got all these battle scars. When you fly the nest, I want to make sure she's okay. And Lisa then walks in and Betsy leaves them. And Carla is softened at this point and is saying, I shouldn't have left you.
Did you think, were you kind of eyeing up a reunion for them here? I did kind of think, oh, this is probably it then. They're getting back together again. It's a bit
no, because of Twitter.
Oh, did they spoil it for you again today?
I feel like I know what's going to happen for 3 weeks.
Corrie has released the next, almost month's worth of spoiler pictures.
And it's really hard at the moment because
the
they
fans
keep
are dining on
breaking up and getting back together, and then they keep talking, the Twilight fans keep talking about what's going to happen in 3 weeks' time, and I don't know if they're going to be breaking up and getting back together again for 3 weeks, or that's just them talking about stuff that's already happened or stuff that will happen.
I don't know. What do you think about the fact that
I feel like the ghost of Christmas future.
What do you think about the fact that Carla has just seemingly had given up and keeps giving up? Is she close to it being completely over? Because Carla doesn't seem the type to give up on somebody that easy, but I don't think anybody in a situation where she's in. I mean, you'd have to be made of pretty strong stuff to not be a little bit fed up with this by this point, because Lisa has been being very naive about what she can get away with doing in front of Carla, and she's still letting Becky hang around her. I think if anyone was in Carla's position, they'd be like, is this worth fighting for?
What's the question?
Are you surprised that Carla has given up, or Do you think
she hasn't given up? She at this point
At
she
some
hasn't,
and
then she does at the end of this scene.
Right, yeah, okay.
Because Lisa tells her to bug off.
So when Becky was in the factory with her and Carla was saying you've won,
She was just tricking
was just
her.
playing along with it for the recording. Okay.
It's also very easy to say and be defeatist and sad and go, "Oh, forget it then," when you're not around the person that this is all to do with. But as soon as she sees her, she's like, "Oh gosh, I can't. I love you. I don't want to be broken up."
This scene,
that makes sense.
This scene where they almost got back together, that didn't. It was just a bit of a come on, you two, what are you doing?
No.
And I was saying it's kind of on Lisa as well, because Carla was opening up a little bit and saying, I love you, I don't want us to do this. But Lisa was the one who eventually said,
rejects her.
You can't manage me like this, like I'm one of your machinists.
Well, hang on, we haven't got there yet. Let me get to it.
Go on then.
Kit is investigating companies online, and he's found one called Laney NW Incorporated. Oh, and Leah Costello is the company director, and this is what they bought the house using this company. I don't know why, because is this like a tax dodge, or
maybe
it's not very secret if you can just Google it.
No. You got to know what you're Googling.
So it's been set up a week after Becky's death. So Kit phones Carla up. She won't answer the phone because she's having an argument with Lisa, and he tells her all the facts, including the dates and that it was quite a pricey house. But he's going, "Oh, they bought it for just shy of $1 million," and I don't know how much money. What is he? Costello?
DI, the
Costello?
inspector, yeah.
They must be on a lot of money.
You'd have thought so.
And this Leah, because she's a CEO.
Yeah.
She must be on loads of money as well. I don't think it like immediately screams alarm bells for two seemingly professional people who are in their late 40s to have near £1 million house.
If only.
I mean, we'd love that.
Only 5 years until we're in our late 40s.
We're nowhere near that, obviously. You couldn't. Yeah.
So this company was set
what
up a week after Becky's death. So.
I'm just saying that maybe it depends on what part of the north this is in, because I know everyone says it's so much cheaper there, but it's actually more expensive in Manchester. So maybe in a £1 million, near £1 million house in Manchester is just a sort of really nice house. It's not like a mansion.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, with wisteria dangling down the front.
In some parts of the north, that would be a mansion, but in other parts, it wouldn't be.
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? All right,
so what's the implication here? So this company was incorporated a week after Becky's death, and Kit was saying, "Oh my gosh, that's a coincidence." I've still kind of lost track about what's going on with this. So
he's not letting on what... I mean, I know what my theory is, that Costello and Becky both ripped off the gang and stole a load of money off of them, and that's why they're mad at her. And then she somehow wheeled her way back in. She wasn't actually undercover. She was just as much a part of the gang as anybody else.
Right.
And that's why she's been able to live in Spain for all this time, and she's still got loads of money. And that's why he's got all this money. So
he's got a load of money, yeah.
And they also, do you remember, she's called Backhand Becky.
Yeah. But it's being, the Costello's got a load of money, but he's hiding it in the business, right? I don't understand.
It's just that, obviously, the financials are that Kit is surprised that Costello can afford to buy this house and he can retire, I think.
Maybe.
Because obviously Leah's completely useless and doesn't bring in a penny.
Yeah. I don't
know. I'm just really confused about what we're supposed to know about. If he said it was a £2 million house, that would be completely different.
I think it's just supposed to sound like they're in this
because somebody who's got rich parents could easily afford. That's how they all do it. They're all sneaking around going, "Oh, I gave up avocado toast for 5 years to buy my house, and my mum and dad also just left me £1 million." Just coincidentally. Right, so anyway, don't worry about that, because meanwhile Carla's just ignoring the calls from Kit about this Rhubarb Hill £1 million house, and she's arguing with Lisa, and she's going, "You know what, I was going to go off to Lanzarote, but I belong here with you. I love you." And Lisa says, "I love you, and I never stopped." But Carla says, "Look, I need a sign though, because you're not giving me anything." You know what I mean? this has got to be, you've got to show me this is worth fighting for.
Lisa honestly
And
just
then
looks
Lisa
like
just
she's
snaps.
sabotaging this relationship.
Lisa snaps at her and goes, don't you tell me what to do. I'm not one of your machinists to manage. And Carla says, hang on, I've been bending over backwards for you to make your life easier. And Lisa says, well, I'm done with this. And then Lisa goes upstairs and Carla takes off the engagement ring and then leaves the house. This is such a weird, I don't get where Lisa came from in this scene.
It felt like it was a bit plot driven. We just need them to stay apart for a bit longer because Carla's gonna go off now.
Yeah, we need Carla to want to fight for the relationship, but we also need Lisa to reject her.
Lisa owes Carla a mighty grovelling when they finally get back together.
Well, a lot of people are gonna say that it's because she's been abused and manipulated and gaslit by Becky. There's definitely an element of that, but I just don't think there's the evidence. I think people are reading stuff into it because they want to. This is what they want to read out of Lisa.
Yeah.
The evidence doesn't really support that in this scene. To me, that's not to say that isn't what is happening.
No, I know.
It's just one of these things where there are so many interpretations that you can make depending on which character you sympathise with the most and whose side you're on, and also what relationships you've been in your past and whether you've been treated like this by somebody, and maybe, you know, an alarm bell is sounding in your head because of your experiences that doesn't sound in someone else's head.
Yeah.
But, you know, on the face of it, it does feel a bit like Lisa just told her to get bent.
It really did.
So she did. And so
close.
Carla goes off. She goes to the factory and she's got these Lanzarote tickets.
Oh yeah, this is when Fizz and Kurt come in, isn't it? And
trying to get her to go to the Christmas party, but she's not in the mood. And she also sees this note that she made about Rhubarb Hill. And then she listens to Kit's message. And she goes off to see Kit and she's like, oh, you know, I just think that Becky's always one step ahead and I think she's won, all right? I think that I'm done with this. And Kit says, look, I can't ask him anything, but he seems to like you, so why don't you go talk to him? And I don't know where you've put this, but...
What?
Oh, yeah, that comes later. So she's like, okay, I'll try one more time.
Yeah, because she's ready to give up, and it's Kit's the one that reminds her this could be the last chance that you got to get together with Lisa again. Why hasn't Carla noticed that for herself?
It's also so funny that Kit's using this. He doesn't give a crap about whether Lisa and Carla get back together. He just knows that's the motivation that he needs to give her to do what he wants her to do.
Yeah.
So she goes off. But meanwhile, Lisa and Betsy are on the sofa when Becky comes in. Becky keeps going in and out, doesn't she? Like, I'm just going to go for a walk. I don't think everyone's seen me. Mm-hmm. So she comes back in and Lisa tells her what's happened and that she's going to Lanzarote. And Becky says, oh, maybe it's for the best, you know. Maybe you need a break from each other. So Carla turns up at the hospital and Costello's there and she asks him about Rhubarb Hill and what does it mean. And he says, blessing. And then everyone around the country is like, blessing. Oh, maybe it's a what 3 words thing. Maybe if you write it into what 3 words, it takes you somewhere.
I did put them in what 3 words earlier and it took me to Mexico. So, and that's the location of his secret.
Well, we did try it with different combinations, don't we? But then the nurse comes in and says, oh no, he's balmy.
I don't think that he is. I think that the fact that she was saying that and Carlo then immediately dropped it and think, well, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about then. I think that is just kicking the can further along and he is actually giving some real clues here. I've got no idea what to, but I don't believe whatsoever that this was just babbling.
The nurse, of course, did not say anything so insensitive.
But you said you believed the nurse earlier.
She said he has had a stroke and he's just saying random words.
I think that they wouldn't have put it in if it wasn't going to have some sort of meaning.
I think it could work though, because it is like they thought they had it. It's like a red herring. Like they thought they had something and it's not.
Maybe.
And we've never had this.
I
don't think we've ever had this. I know, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like them. They are trying to do a proper police story, where there are red herrings. There's nobody's ever on Coronation Street woken up and given somebody a clue to something that turns out to be just nonsense.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't tune into Coronation Street for police procedurals.
Well, you better start. So, at number 6, Becky listens in as Carla calls Lisa, going, "Oh, don't go to Lanzarote, I love you." Yeah, why didn't you said this earlier? Literally 5 minutes ago you could have said this. Why has she changed her mind? It's because, I don't know. So Becky's mad because she can hear Lisa telling Carla on the phone that she loves her still.
No, she looked like proper heartbroken during that, didn't she? I think that there was supposed to be a little bit of an attempt to elicit sympathy for dear Becky there. I got it.
Really?
I did.
No,
yeah, I honestly, I think that she doesn't. There was a bit earlier in the episode, or was it Wednesday? I can't remember, where she walks towards the camera with a grin when things are going her way. But this did seem to be a genuine. Oh, come on! No. I love Lisa.
I was bamboozling myself because I was like, oh, she's sad because she's thinking how beautiful it is that Lisa and Carla love each other, and she's moved by Lisa being sad that Carla's gone. I was like, of course it's not that. It's because she's upset because Carla is the love of Lisa's life now. Mm-hmm. So if you want to... where is she going? So she's going out somewhere to do something. And she knows that...
Well, we just see her slip out, don't we?
We know that she knows that Carla's going to Lanzarote. And so she goes like, is she going because she's defeated, or has she got something to do?
Something nefarious to do with Carla. We don't see Carla again for the rest of the episode, do we?
No. So she comes back again. She's like, she treats the house like she's doing a big, like she's got to get a step count in, and she's just walking around in circles, round and round the house to try to boost it up. Maybe she's planting petals in Pikmin. So she comes back in, and Lisa's there going, I'm going to the airport. I'm heading out to stop
she's
Carla
going to do a Love Actually
and
moment.
Becky's like, why? Don't do that. How do you know that you're going to get her there? Because, she just because you know where she's going doesn't mean that. And she says, oh, there's only one flight to Lanzarote today, and it hasn't left yet, so I'm going to go. That is assuming that she's gone to Manchester Airport and not Liverpool Airport.
Yes.
I do think
they made that mistake with Stephen, didn't they?
Maybe they don't go to Lanzarote from Liverpool. So Becky says it's not a good idea, and she's like, why don't you just phone her? And he says, I've tried to phone her. Then she looks at her phone and realises that she got a message from Carla that says, enjoy Christmas with Becky and Betsy. I'm going on holiday. Please stop calling me. And then she cries, and then Becky moves in to give her a hug.
Well, has she gone to Lanzarote, Gemma?
Is that a message from Carla?
It wouldn't be a surprise if it actually was somebody who had accosted Carla on the way and now has her phone and is texting those messages. Like, has Becky got Carla hostage? I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. They do love a hostage situation in this storyline, but I guess time will tell with that one. But wouldn't be surprised if Carla doesn't come back from Lanzarote in 2 weeks' time. Let's just say
Becky's like, oh, you sure that? Are you sure Carla wants you to go to catch up with her, and she's not sent you a text message? Have you checked your phone? Oh, she sent you a message. Oh, what does it say? Because I don't know.
I am so ready. I'm so ready for this story to end. I've had moments where I've been like really into it, but it feels like it's been too long since I've properly been invested in this now. I just think
it is supposed to be soapy. I think that Lisa and Carla breaking up and getting back together again, and breaking up and getting back together again, and it's just for drama's purposes, and everything that Becky's doing is the same.
But Becky's still what's keeping me interested the most in this. I think just being very manipulative and impish.
She is very, very, very naughty.
Speaking of little imps, Debbie's storyline. Shall we move on to this? This was a bit more fun this week. The Carla stories drained me, but there's a lot to like about the Debbie storyline. So let's.
I just really wish that Lisa had known Carla before, and she would realise that the Carla that she's getting is like the nicest Carla that's ever existed in the history of the universe.
Yeah, the most placid Carla.
And she is getting such nice treatment. And she's just not she's not seeing it at all.
Yeah. Debbie then. So I think this story did move on fairly nicely this week. We finally had Carl properly taking some of Debbie's money for himself, didn't we, at the end of Wednesday's episode? And then there's also the wedding plans are in full force, and 100% definitely confirmed, but not really confirmed, but actually properly confirmed, that it is Belle from Emmerdale who's being Debbie's wedding planner, which I think we talked about last week, didn't we? Because
Belle?
Yeah.
I thought it was Elaine.
No, Belle. Elaine.
Who's Elaine then? Oh, Elaine's the mystery.
No, well, I don't think it's a mystery. I think it's Elaine, Bill's wife.
Oh. You know what's happened is that Debbie's bamboozled me with her post-its. So she writes something down and I just take it out of context.
It was funny how Elaine gets a mention, but there's no explanation on screen about who Elaine is. Because, yeah, it could have been inferred, from many viewers that Elaine is the wedding planner, but I assume it's not. I assume this is Elaine, Bill's wife. We're supposed to be...
Did they mention
today?
I don't know now. Did they mention today that her name was Belle? They didn't ever say that.
No, they didn't mention that it was Belle.
And that's why I got confused, because they were talking about the wedding planner and they were deliberately not saying her name for some reason. And then she started talking about Elaine, and I forgot who Elaine was.
Yeah.
Supposed to be. Elaine is Bill's wife that we think is not actually really Carl's mum, but Debbie is Carl's mum.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Carl's mum, Elaine.
Yeah, maybe. But who's
like, pushing 80 now. But I don't think she's dead.
But why is Elaine phoning up?
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Are these German gangsters now?
They're coming after her.
Yeah.
Yeah, your son owes her so many euros. Yeah. Anyway, so the wedding does get a bit of a kick up the bum today, because Wednesday, Debbie's discovers to her horror that she's accidentally booked the venue for 2027. So she can't have that. She needs to find some sort of replacement, and she's just feeling absolutely terrible about herself and what an idiot I am. Damn me and my dementia. I want that venue. I don't want some other replacement. And it's heartbreaking, isn't it, seeing her getting so flustered with herself. And I love the scene where she starts singing that the song, her and Ronnie's favourite song. What was it? Your Love Is King. And it's a little bit cheesy, but seeing kind of the calmness wash over her face as she was singing that, it was lovely.
Well, this is an interesting. I think this is going to link to something in the later stages of dementia, because they keep talking about the dementia choir, and then Debbie is now panicking because she couldn't remember what the song is. Then she remembers this song.
Yes.
And so I do think that this is
going to be a happy
this
day.
Will come back, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. It will come back again. So Carl and Abby...
And you know what the sad thing is, Michael?
What?
Is that when this happens to you, you're going to be like, if you want to be my lover.
Yeah, that's going to be...
It's not romantic, is it? It's not like a very sweet...
This wasn't our first dance at our wedding, darling. We did have a nice bit of Queen there, didn't we?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes?
I don't remember what we danced to.
Our first dance was You're My Best Friend by
I remember
Queen.
asking for certain songs that I never got.
Well, anyway, Carl and Abby take Debbie back to her flat, and Abby says, look, we are going to find you your dream venue. And Debbie says, well, look, I don't even... By the time this one that I want's available, I don't even know if I know who I'm going to be. I don't know who you're going to be by that time. And she breaks down in Abby's arms again. She's trying to cancel the flowers later on, no joy, and this is when she sees this answer phone message from Elaine, who she needs to ring back. So she pops it on a post-it note, and then that shows up again on Friday's episode. But at the end of the episode on Wednesday, Abby and Carl call Debbie to the hotel with the good news. They found her this fancy hall in Yorkshire, land of Emmerdale, in 3 weeks' time, and they're doing it for half price, £3,000. What a bargain this is! And Debbie's absolutely chuffed with this and says, Carl, you pay the deposit with the hotel account, it's fine. And Carl's on the phone to the wedding organiser later and says, oh yeah, deposit for you, £1,000. So he's creamed $2,000 off the top of this money that Debbie thinks that she's paying the wedding planner. And this is how it begins, I suppose. And how long he's going to get away with this, I don't know. But yeah, three weeks time, so a nice little New Year's wedding for Debbie. I mean, I suppose that we can. No, I don't want to say too much about it, but looking forward to it, and I'm sure that Debbie will be absolutely fabulous. And I hope that it's going to be a nice wedding. I don't need mega drama, because it's already, she's got so much heartbreak and sadness to come over the next 12, 18 months or so. I'd like for this wedding to just go smoothly, don't you? But I suppose the spectre over the wedding is the whole Carl and Kevin side of things, which is what Friday's episode kind of centres around, because Debbie wants them both there, both brothers, and but she doesn't know how they're going to reconcile that, and how can we get Kevin there with his brother Carl, who's going to be probably dancing and snogging Abby on the dance floor. We see this post-it note pop up again about ringing Elaine when she goes into the cupboard, her little memory cupboard, and she looks like she's just about to phone her when her phone rings, and it's the wedding organizer. And I think that's why people might think that.
Did she say, "Oh, hi, Belle"?
No, she didn't.
You've just written Belle.
I've just written Belle in here because I assume
name.
this is who it is. But yeah, Elaine, I think, is supposed to be Carl's mum.
This is too confusing. Mum. If they want Elaine,
I don't know whether they're supposed to be doing it as a purposeful red herring. I'm not sure. I don't know. You look up. Is there an Elaine on Emmerdale? Am I getting something wrong here? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just talking about Elaine, Tim's mum. And we're both wrong about this. I don't know.
Okay, I've just googled Elaine on Emmerdale. She's dead.
Are you sure? She's this dead. Time?
No, hang on. No, I'm actually looking this up. She...
Is there an Elaine on Emmerdale?
Oh, there's a crash.
No,
she's in Rotherham.
Okay, fine. Nothing to worry about.
The same as being dead.
She doesn't work for the wedding planner. That's the most important thing. Anyway.
It says here, somebody goes to Hull.
Oh.
If you click on Hull, they've got a whole article about Hull.
Oh, a whole article.
Look, there's a whole Emmerdale history of Hull.
Right, okay, so, Debbie's telling her she wants fireworks, because earlier in the episode she and Ronnie decided that's the way to go. It's better than, what was it? Turtle doves was the other option, and fireworks don't plop on your head.
You could do both and see which survives.
Yeah.
Which does the best show. So
the rest of the episode kind of centres on, is Kevin going to come along to this? And she brings his invitation to him, and she's like, do you mind if Abby comes along? No, says Kevin. I don't know. I mean, he is a bit, but it's an understandable reaction by Kevin, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but he is just a grumpy old dick, isn't he? And he always, like, why does he do this? Why is he so objectionable? But then he changes his mind.
Debbie wants Carl to be able to bring Abby, but
he's just been impetuous.
Do you think?
I think it was unreasonable of Debbie to want to have Abby there.
That's what I think. I think that, sorry, Abby, you wrecked this family. You can't come along to the wedding. I'm sure you understand. And I think Abby's got enough goodness in her heart to see that what's most important here is that Debbie has her two brothers there.
But what about, do you think that Kevin would have wanted to go if it had just been Carl?
He would have been more up for it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Because she only asked him about Abby. He would probably have assumed at this point that Carl's going, because of how close Debbie and Carl are.
Yeah, he was probably building himself up for...
Carl's going to be there. I'm going to. But then equally,
he probably would have thought, she's probably going to invite Abby along, isn't she? But yeah, he's been a bit petulant, but I do think that Debbie should have backed down before Kevin did. Which he did by the end of the episode, because Jack comes in and after Kevin snaps at him for trying to take a yogurt out of the fridge... Jack said, look, you need to be good to Auntie Debbie. You need to go along with this. You might not get many more chances. So he says, yeah, fine, whatever. I'll come along to the wedding by the end of it.
Is it free?
No, it is not.
It is free.
Free for him. Free for him.
It's free on at point of service, just like the NHS.
The other little storyline thread that went on today was Tyrone getting down in the dumps because they still haven't found out that it was Carl who ran him over all those weeks back. And... he has the case gets dropped eventually, doesn't it? Just in time for us to see the silly little scene with Liam and Gary in the bistro, and he's there showing his drone cam footage, and oh look, there's Carl getting into the stolen car. I mean, seriously.
It was really clumsy too, because they kept hammering home the point that the case has been dropped because of lack of evidence. There's lack of evidence. I'd be furious if I was Tyrone. I'd be like, how much evidence do you need that I was run over by a car? I've got, my legs don't work now.
There's lack of evidence of who was driving.
I know, but it's just the way they kept saying there's lack of evidence. It's like, it happened. I can guarantee you it happened.
So it's just like, now, how long is it going to be before this footage makes its way to Tyrone's eyes?
The question I have is, maybe this does happen, that the police just go, no, we've dropped your case for lack of evidence? Or would they not tell you this? Or would they just go, we're pursuing leads? Do they really close cases like this?
I don't know. I think it was just for dramatic. What do they mean
by we've dropped the case?
We've given up. We're too busy looking over who bopped Costello on the head.
It wasn't that long ago that they would be like, oh, do you know, this is too hard. I'm not doing this. I've tried really hard and I can't work it out. I think this is
what they're saying.
I just give up.
I don't know.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Like, I think I would have thought that after, a decent amount of time has passed here, that Tyrone wouldn't be so hell-bent on revenge and getting whoever did this to him sent down. I don't know. But again, that's me just being my usual forgiving self. But anyway, this footage is going to... Is Carl going to find out about it first and then try and steal it off of Liam?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is Liam going to show someone...
Liam's going to go, I've prepared a special video for Debbie to watch at the wedding about her and Ronnie. Press play. Oh no, I've got this confused with my drone footage. How embarrassing. And everyone's watching it going, oh...
I mean, Gary
I
must have seen that this was Carl in the video. Maybe he just shows it to Carl one day and say, hey, look at this. My son spied on you.
Maybe Gary's just being a normal dad and going, yeah, great. And not actually looking at it.
If Carl finds the footage first, it's probably going to be very easy to...
beat him up.
No, very easy to delete.
I'd beat him up.
So does that just... What's the point of introducing the fact that there's this evidence if he's just going to destroy it straight away?
We don't know that he's going to destroy it straight away. You've just made that up.
I would if I was him.
I'd destroy it and then I'd stamp on his drone.
Yeah, it was all very, very coincidental. But if it's going to put an end to this, then I don't mind. Like, I wish Tyrone would just either give up on it or find out who did it, because I don't really care that he doesn't know who ran him over. But if it does precipitate Carl's exit, I am all for it.
It's because it's weird in a soap. In real life, this would eat you alive and you would never stop talking about it. But in a soap, yes, of course, if somebody ran... But in a soap, it's because... I think it's because he's a character. He's like, look, I'm a soap character. I know somebody ran me over who's a character in the show. Yeah. They don't just have us get run over by randoms.
Just random people, no. So gone are the days of Lisa Duckworth being hit by just some random driver.
Which one of you buggers has done this to me?
Right. Anyway, that was that. Some lovely, joyous Debbie scenes. And Carl's being a get. Carl is being a mega get. Joni, Gemma, do you want to just run down quickly what's been going on at Shane Metcalf?
Yeah, I just want to report that I was just asking ChatGPT about whether Costello could have afforded a house without being dodgy, and apparently if he's made some savvy investments and moved up the property ladder, and also if Jan or Ran or Kaz or whatever her name is,
the wife,
Mrs. Costello, she's also earning the same as him and also is quite canny, then it is possible, but who I don't know.
There we go. It's good to know that Corrie people have done their research.
No.
Or not.
I'm not saying they haven't done the research. I'm just saying it was bothering me because I don't know how realistic it is for them to be on I think that they'd be on nearly 60k.
Okay.
He'd be on nearly 60k. Is it really outlandish for him to have a house that expensive? I mean, it's not typical, but it's not like, oh, you must have got a gang to give you the deposit. Anyway, that was just my side quest. Let me tell you about what's happened with
Joni,
Sally and Joni and Groney. Now, if this teaches us one thing, it's that if you go around committing crimes, you won't be able to see your kids at Christmas. And everybody's going to blame everybody else except for you somehow.
Yeah.
Because it seems as though nobody's putting the blame on the person whose fault this is, which is actually whatever her name is. Lou.
I thought Lou had said to Sally, I don't want to see them. Don't bring them to me. I don't want them to remember me as a jailbird
I hate
mum.
these kids.
So maybe
I only did the crime to get away from them.
maybe there's plenty of tickets or whatever it's called at the prison for Christmas Day, and Lou's just saying, no, don't want to see him at Christmas.
What did she do again?
Bopped Gary on the head.
Oh, I mean, who hasn't wanted to do that? So, Wednesday...
There's all the factory party
They're doing
stuff,
a party,
isn't there? Yeah.
isn't it fun? And then Joni says, oh, I'm having a party. I've invited my friends over. And Sim and Tally, they're so excited about it. And they get everything ready. But then the friends don't come.
Ah.
I can't believe it. And they're really upset. And Tim wants to have a go at them. And Sally's like, no, it's going to make it worse. And then Friday, she's still upset. Who wouldn't be? I hate stories like this. You hear it online sometimes as well. Like, here's a picture of a sad child with a cake and none of their friends from school came.
I'm not surprised that nobody wants to see her. She's just a massive misery guts, isn't she?
She's challenged. She's had challenging times.
She has had challenging times.
There's not much to smile about.
No. But I can imagine her friends on their little WhatsApp group saying, look, guys, let's just mute Joni for a minute. Who wants to go around to her party? She's probably just going to be moaning about the place.
I mean, let's not to be too weird about it, but maybe they don't know where she lives.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't...
They've probably all turned up at Maudsley Street, haven't they?
She was there, and then she was with the aunt, or whoever, and now she's there again. Anyway, Joni's upset. She thinks Christmas is going to be rubbish. Sally tries to cheer her up and says, let's go and see your mum. And Tim's like, don't you think they might be booked up? And then Sally says, it's not Les Mis.
Yes.
Anyone can get...
We're going to Les Mis tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes.
What? What do you look at me like that for?
Yeah.
We are going to Les Mis tomorrow because it's the 10th anniversary of my mum's death and she loved it. So again, it's a little tribute. Me and you and my sister, aren't we? And my aunt and my uncle.
And your
Hope
cousin.
we have a lovely time. There's nobody famous in it that we know apart from one person off of Benidorm.
It is really sad. When you said you wanted to go to see it, I looked at the car stuff and I was like, no curry people.
No, Vicky Entwistle is no longer playing Madame Thénardier. But
I know, that would have been good.
I liked it was just...
I don't think your mum would have cared one way or the other.
No, we just thought it was funny that Sally made a reference to it when
We're going
that's
tomorrow.
what we're doing tomorrow.
So,
and it's not booked up because we only just bought our tickets recently.
Yeah. Later on, Tim's called the prison up and they said, we're not doing Christmas Day visits because we've got our own homes to go to, which in my mind, I imagine everyone in the prison, they just get locked in and they have to stay in their rooms and not allowed and there's no food. Everyone's
You've all
gone.
been very naughty people, boys and girls this year. By the Christmas says,
turning the
stay in
lights
your
off.
cells.
Everyone stays in your cells. If there's any funny business, you phone us up and tell us. Otherwise, forget it. So Sally's like, oh no, I shouldn't have told them. But by the time they get back from school, Joni's already worked it out because Tim's got no poker face whatsoever. And she's sad. And
She just
she's
spends
been
like the
sad
evenings dropping
all
upstairs,
day.
doesn't she?
Sad all day. So here's the question. Are we going to get a magical Christmas Lou surprise? Or what's going to happen? Because they were going...
A Lou surprise. Excuse me, a Lou surprise. That sounds like you look inside your toilet and you see something that you didn't expect.
There should be no surprises on Christmas as to what's coming out.
I think the only surprise that you're going to get in your Lou is going to be a surprise you don't want to see.
Just flush.
I don't think we're seeing Lou at Christmas.
Well, they're going, oh, we have to make sure they have a great Christmas. I'd just say give up now.
I hope that they do. I don't want miserable
what can
McCartney
replace your
over
mum?
Christmas.
There's nothing that can replace your mum at
You know
Christmas.
what? Maybe we will get a little video message from her or something. I don't know.
Maybe they'll find her Instagram. Like, oh, mum's really funny.
Oh yeah, Farrell's Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago, wasn't it? That Bernie was in prison over Christmas.
They do like locking people up over Christmas, don't they?
Yeah, and they couldn't go and visit her then either. They had to get a video link there.
Maybe they'll let her out for the day because they'll be like, we're not going to be here. You go as long as you promise to come back. I think they probably do that.
I think that's too much effort. Like I said, I think that they're just scared to commit to this storyline. So it wouldn't even surprise me if we didn't even get to see them at Christmas.
Well, okay, I will only say one thing.
What's that?
And that is that last week we did talk about the Christmas party, the Corrie Christmas party, and
Farrell was there.
she was there. She is friends with
Julia
Goulding, so that's not weird, and she was in it. this year.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, why is she there? But equally, you might expect her to go. She's like, I just recorded something for the special Christmas Day episode. Can I come to the party? And they went, yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it does. Rushing through the other stories, we got Shona and David have got. I thought it was quite a funny setup for this baby shower when David thinks he's on a promise and he skips home from school and he's like, what's he saying? There's a party in my pants.
Oh no, he's such a pervert.
Why is he so a pervert? He just wants to have a nice bit of Christmas time afternoon delight with his wife.
How did Shona think that was him running through the door and zipping his pants?
But anyway, no, it is a baby shower, which basically just all gets a little bit awkward. And David's there saying, this is really icky, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with this kid. Why do you want to be having this celebration? And I lose track of who knows and who doesn't know. Does everybody know at this point? Well, Maria should know better than when she says, I've got a receipt for this Reading County baby grow
that was like
that I've got
such a foot in mouth. Like, she obviously didn't mean, in case the baby dies, you can take it back. She just wasn't thinking, like, you'll say that in case you don't want it, or, you know.
People who say, I keep the receipt, it always just feels a little bit like, you have a bit more trust in your present buying capability.
It also feels passive-aggressive.
It's almost like saying, I bought you a present, it's a bit rubbish, I didn't put too much thought into it, so...
Well, it's like, go on, take it back if you don't like it. If you want to reject me, here's your opportunity.
Yeah, well, anyway, Shona just has a massive meltdown, doesn't she? And throws them all out, and... Then they have yet another scene of David and Shona on the sofa, and I enjoy them because I think that they have a lovely relationship, and he's there putting the hand on the tummy and everything, and David says,
sweet.
David's the final kind of words were, I'm scared, you're scared, let's be scared together. Speaking of David and Shona, they are the new ITVX picture, aren't they?
I mean, something bad.
We've had Betsy sitting on that bed in the prison cell for months now.
She was hardly there.
But the David and Shona picture that they're using this month is nice and smiley, so it's maybe predicting something lovely is going to happen to them at Christmas. I don't know.
I can't remember what that she said, because David was saying it's high risk or something like that, and then Shona says, well, she's a baby before she's that. I thought that was very sweet. And she's also like saying, I can't allow myself to be scared because then it might happen.
Oh, yeah, that was a nicely written line.
And that is definitely like a true symptom of being, you know, having anxiety and stuff. Like you believe that you can...
into it.
You believe that you can control the universe somehow by your thoughts. And you know it's not true. Oh, poor Shona. I just don't know how anyone can, like, the pair of them... They're on the sofa and, you know, David's stroking her stomach and you're thinking, life is just suffering. It's horrible.
But it's still very lovely to see that they've got each other's back.
I don't have high hopes for this now. Do you not? No.
I still do. I still think it's going to turn out okay. I'm feeling positive. I think this is going to be ending up a feel-good story. I really hope so.
I don't think this is a spoiler to say this. But... on the ITV advice page, I think it is, you know, it's possibly just because it can stir up feelings with people.
I think it.
But on the ITV advice page, the only charity that's to do with this is baby loss.
I think it's there because of the potential for the storyline and not that it's going to
But anybody who's going through this now, how could you watch this on telly? I don't know how you could. It's the worst thing I can possibly imagine. Yeah. It's worse than almost anything. To lose a baby, to be pregnant. Oh.
We have a little bit more of the George and Christina story this week, which is basically he's getting a phone call from Eileen because he's ends up that he's speaking to her about Todd, isn't he? And the fact that he's worried about Todd's behaviour, and Eileen's just like, don't worry about him, he's fine.
So he is actually talking to the real Eileen.
Because there's a mix-up at the
funeral,
Undertaker's
and they accidentally buried the wrong one.
No, there's a funeral mixed Undertaker's mix-up when Christina walks in on him speaking to another Eileen, who's a little old lady. But yeah, she learns later on, does Christine, that George is definitely worried about Todd, and he's confided in Eileen with his worries, but she says, don't worry about it, Todd's okay. But really, there's basically nothing in it on Friday's episode apart from the final scenes where Gary in the bistro is telling George he was walking past the corner shop flat the other day, and not the other day, it was earlier today, wasn't it? And he'd heard crashing and smashing and things.
He said he heard slamming and moaning.
Was it? I don't remember.
What do you think it is, Gary? A poltergeist? Get in there.
To be honest, it wouldn't surprise knowing what Theo and Todd are like. It's just they've gone off to bed again.
Oh.
But no, because the final scene of today's episode was a slow, dark, mysterious pan around the the corner shop flat, and everything is in disarray, isn't it? Things have been turned over.
Everywhere.
There's been clearly some kind of very violent altercation there between Todd and Theo. And the fact that we've not seen them all week, I think that was a really good move, because it's almost like, what makes you think, what did they do last? What was the last thing that happened there? Has something been going on all week behind the scenes that we've had no idea about, or was there just literally something on Friday? It certainly got my mind a buzzing, and Monday's episode is going to be, obviously we're going to find out what's going to happen there, and like I've spoken about in the podcast recently, I'm very much engaged in this storyline, and I can't wait to see what it is.
And at the end of it, we see through the camera frame.
Yes, that was the last thing that we'd seen from this storyline, wasn't it? Last Friday, Todd putting the picture frame cameras out. So whatever it is that's happened there, it's been caught on camera. Unless, has Theo... Now, he can't have found the cameras, can he? Otherwise,
one of them's still there.
Yeah, we saw at least one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether he could have found the other one, I suppose.
Todd remembered to put in an SD card.
I suppose if you're Theo and you found one picture frame camera, you're going to assume that the other frame that was bought at the same time has also got one in there. So I think
Todd showed it to him.
Yeah, I would say at this stage Theo hasn't found out about it. But what has happened, and is by the end of Monday's episode, is Todd still going to be going crawling back to Theo, or is he going to be able to escape? I'm looking forward to seeing. So that was this week in Coronation Street. I don't feel that we were that much into it this week. I don't know, listeners, whether you got that impression from listening to this, but yeah, it was just a week where things happened. I did really enjoy Wednesday's. I mean, I think it went into the banging territory for me because things were moving on in the stories a little bit more than they had been, and then the flashback was kind of intriguing, and I like the fact that they were in the pub on Monday. I don't know, there's just... Maybe it's just us this evening and we're not necessarily in the mood for it, but I think kind of when all's said and done, I can't give this any more than 3 parties in David's pants out of 5.
He has got 3 kids.
This is true, yeah.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't involved in the conception of Max, don't forget. So
maybe he's having his own party somewhere else. I'm going to give this 3 Chinese pigeon drones because I do think that birds aren't real.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like Kirk.
Oh yeah, it was Kirk.
I don't know why they made Kirk on Friday be drunk to talk nonsense, because he doesn't normally need to be drunk. He just says
it. We got to see Dirk at the Underworld Christmas party, didn't we?
Yeah. Sitting
there having a good old giggle with his snowman glasses on and doing a lot of lovely silent acting in reaction to what was going on. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine this week's Corrie, but I think going into it, I was hoping for a lot more because the flashback effort, it just didn't quite hit the right mark for me.
I'm going to give Character of the Week to Maggie for finally standing up for women and pushing that man down the stairs.
She didn't push him, or did she?
Or letting him die. I say good for you.
I don't know who my Character of the Week is. I did enjoy Maggie, but I don't know. I'm kind of almost leaning towards Debbie again, who is currently, Rebecca has told us after last week's voting, up there at number 2 in our Characters of the Week.
She is in, I tell you what, Jenny is in danger now because
I know.
She was really high, but then I do think that Debbie is going to have wall-to-wall weeks of
I think it is definitely going to be a quite possible tight. Yeah, she's going to be really catching up on it. She's going to be...
What a great double act for the top of the tree.
For sure.
Go on, who is it? Is it going to be Debbie?
Yeah.
Oh, when she
I'll
got
give
down
it
on
to
her
Debbie.
knees to beg Kevin, and
Yeah.
he still said no. He's such an arsehole.
I'm gonna give it to Debbie for the character.
How could you look into the eyes of your sister, who's on her knees begging you to just stop being a dick, and you're like, no, I can't even contemplate it.
He's just default grump mode.
I guess I was thinking about what you said earlier about Vulcans, and imagining a soap that was just Vulcans, and Debbie's there going, please come to my wedding, and Kevin going, although I have emotional thoughts about this, I think it would be illogical to make them over. Like every single scene would just be like 5 seconds long.
I'd watch it.
Where like Carla and Lisa would say, it really doesn't make sense for me to reject you at this point, Carla. So let's go to Lanzarote together. Betsy can't come because she's got a project due next week.
Right. Should we call it a day there for Street Talk?
And also, Becky would never have buggered off to Spain because that's silly, isn't it? That's not logical at all. Yes, we can move on now.
We will move on. That is Street Talk for this week.